show. PURR Sessions podcast, Big Cat in control. Talking professional wrestling from head to toe. News stories, independent wrestling. Let's go. Breaking down the matches, analyzing the fights. Big Cat's got the scoop, shining the spotlight. From the big leagues to the underdog fight. PURR Sessions got you covered day and night. With the roar of the crowd, we dive deep inside, uncovering the secrets we can't hide. Body slams and suplexes, we abide. PURR Sessions where the wrestling truth resides.
Welcome to another episode of PURR Sessions Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the Main of Maine, Big Cat Tyler Addams. Now, getting into it, this is not live. I've given everybody the day off to enjoy time with family and friends. And even though I am feeling like shit and would like to talk about the CM Punk running down to the ring in a towel, which is hilarious, I am editing clips for you guys of moments that I enjoyed or fascinating for the show, for today's show live for you guys. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as anybody who listens to whatever platform to listen to the show. Thank you very much. I hope you guys' Christmas was great. Mine was great. I feel like shit. I am trying not to get sick on camera because I feel terrible. But I hope you guys enjoyed these clips, and we will be live again, I believe, next weekend, next Friday for you guys with an actual live show, and maybe even everybody on that show. So thank you guys again for watching. I hope you guys enjoying this little clips that I pulled for Christmas special. Technically, it's now a New Year's special because it's pretty closer to that. And yeah, thank you guys again. Like and comment, subscribe. Catch us live every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and enjoy the show. Getting into wrestling, so talking about Limitless just happened, what, a week or two ago?
It was
2 weekends ago. 2 weekends ago. So 2 weekends ago, we had the event that happened, whatever. We got Aggro, which a lot of people, if they don't know, was a part of MSP, who broken up. Danger Kid, all of our trainers, a trainer for all of us, and the Limitless Dojo walked away at the end of the match.
I'm still here.
What?
Just trust me, I'm still here.
Okay. I thought I said something I wasn't supposed to or something. You're like, oh shit, I'm not a part of this.
No, I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know how to just stop my camera, and Sam had to walk
Sam was
by.
walking by.
Yeah.
Click the camera button. That was so fucking funny.
I thought it was like, oh, I'm not a part of this. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like trainer for all of us. No!
Oh, shit. And I actually, because I didn't see it live, because I think they cut the feed after their match. So I didn't get to hear his goodbye.
Oh, you didn't stick around? It's ironic that you want to talk about this, because I literally just rewatched that whole match. Right, figured it out.
Yeah,
I literally
figured it out.
watched that whole match on IWTV. I think it was yesterday. No, so the match ends. Aggro takes his leave. Danny's left in the ring, and then very shortly it fades to black as if it ends. If you wait 5 fucking seconds, Cat, the promo comes up. Like, it's still black screen, but the promo starts.
This happened afterwards. This is when it was re-uploaded to IWTV. When it was live, the stream ended. So I didn't get to see this until I actually still haven't seen it. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's so when they were recording it live after the match, it ended. The stream.
Oh, ended. I didn't realize
when they re-uploaded to.
They added
it at the end. It's the same thing with like what Randy does when he does the backstage interviews. He just adds them into the app, into IWTV when they re-upload it.
Yeah.
So
I got you. I didn't know that.
I still haven't seen all this, but what I did hear, I got a little upset. So I'm like, we're gonna save it for the live. So
you're gonna make me sit through this again.
Yes, I am gonna make you sit through this again.
I literally I watched this, like I said, like 2 days ago, and there were like points in it where I felt myself getting emotional again. And I was like, it still fucking hits me.
If all you see is my fancy living room, you know why. I got a persona to keep, okay?
Yeah, what kills me is like
what's funny is I'll let in on a little bit of backstage stuff. I was okay when I was on the floor, and I think it's for that same reason that Sam was just talking about, because we're at the point, at least me and Dylan and Kat, no offense, Sam, but me, Dylan, and Kat are all at the point where at Limitless shows, there are fans there that recognize us. I've had fans that recognize me because we wrestle so much. So I think it was that same thing where I was kind of like, the fans know that I can't wrestle in Let's Wrestle anymore. Like, they know I'm leaving. So it was kind of that, I felt like it was kind of that same thing where I was like, I have to like keep the persona that I'm okay. As soon as I got downstairs into that locker room, I cried 25 minutes straight, nonstop, and nothing set it off either. I just went down in the locker room, and DK was down there giving hugs and talking to everybody and everything, and I just stood at the bar, and it just fucking everything came out in that one moment. And me and
I was just go ahead, go finish. I stopped so you can finish. There's a delay. I thought you were done. Calm your tits. Calm those titties.
No, now you can go. You're more important.
So, I'll give a little backstory here about why this was emotional for me, too.
So anyways, I was saying.
So, I got into wrestling because of Danny. Or DK. So, my wife knew him and convinced me to go to his class, and that completely, absolutely changed my life just by going to one class with him. So, yeah, it was hard.
Danny, DK, whatever. I think everyone knows his name's Danny at this point, but
I think everybody knows he's Danny.
I don't know.
Try to keep the
Alexander Lee is our pro wrestling dad. We all call him dad. He is our pro wrestling dad.
He really
but
is.
when I started out, he was on his hiatus. He hadn't returned yet. So DK was the one that took me under his wing. DK was my pro wrestling dad until Alexander Lee came back. So, and you see it in my moveset, and it's partly because of my stature, because of the way I'm built. Before he put on the weight that he put on and thickened up, he looked like me when he started out. So he very much, I think, saw a lot of old him in me, and it was kind of one of those situations where he knew that I was going to need the extra support, especially in main wrestling, where a lot of you fuckers are built like these three.
What?
So
I take offense to that.
I don't, because I am definitely chunky.
I'm a pretty big boy.
But you see it in my moveset. Like the Busaiku knee I started hitting because it was something that Danny did, and it was something that I was like, I can do that. I can make that look good.
Right. No, I think it was you. It was also Austin, who also learned a lot from DK. Top Hat, who hasn't appeared on. I don't know. I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him in like months.
I think since DK got done, he's done. I think because that's what he was doing mostly.
I think he got hurt.
Oh, he got hurt again?
I think so.
That's the sad part about Top Hat.
We were doing something, and the last time I saw him, he couldn't do it anymore at the time because his knee was jacked up.
Ooh.
And that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah, knee injuries suck too, man. They like,
dude.
A tweak can take forever to come back. You can blow your knee out completely, you know your time frame, but a tweak, you keep tweaking it, and it's like forever to get back from it.
Well, I hurt my knee back in September of last year, and it's just feeling good now.
Yeah,
our manager is gone because he broke his freaking collarbone.
Yeah,
in practice. I have that. I haven't posted yet because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I have that video of him breaking his collarbone.
I broke my ankle the first year I was training
because of Cat.
Not even full year. Yeah, thanks, Cat.
Unsafe worker.
I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
I broke my ankle. I think it was that shirt you're wearing too.
Yes,
I'm almost positive it was that fucking shirt you're wearing.
It's not that one, but it's that one. Yes.
But I broke my ankle.
It's a shoe.
And still, but my point on that was, still to this day, it hurts. Like, if I put pressure on it just half an inch the wrong way, I can feel the spot that I broke it in, and that's the nature of not letting yourself heal completely, but also just the nature of what we do. It hurts. It sucks.
Well, that's
I've had. So for me, if we're just talking about injuries, I haven't had any real major ones. Luckily enough, I'm the old man too. I'm surprised. The thing that I keep messing up is my sciatic. I keep getting hit wrong or something, or I get thrown wrong one time, and my sciatic's fucked for a month. Say what?
You fucked up your elbow. Your elbow.
Yeah, my elbow's pretty jacked. Yeah, it's better now. Like, it doesn't hurt all the time anymore. But I still have to wear a brace and an elbow pad in the match now.
The elbow
that was catching Jossie.
It'll be all right, Grandpa. Don't worry,
it's the other elbow. I actually use my right elbow for that. Not my left.
We'll get you a cane to walk out to the ring with.
I mean, if we're talking injuries, like while we've been wrestling in front of a live crowd, I think my most like notable, well-known one is when I pushed it. Well, I didn't do it, but when my left like tailbone got pushed up against the base of my spine in the hardcore match in September.
Oh, when you got shoot drop, dude, I'll pull that up right now. When you got shoot sidewalk slammed.
Yeah, when I got shoot sidewalk slammed and I landed sideways and it pushed that bone in your back all the way up against my lower, like the base of my spine, and almost paralyzed me. If it had gotten, like, if it was any harder, and this isn't an over exaggeration because I manually worked that bone back into place because it like fucked my hip so hard. If I had gotten dropped any harder or landed any more on my side, I would have been paralyzed in that match because the base of my spine would have snapped.
My wife just scared the shit out of me because I looked down expecting a cat, and then once the cat was feet, I'm like, oh shit. Hey, honey.
I had to I had to get up and wish the girlfriend good night, so that's where I was.
My ribs up in my debut match.
Ooh, dude, ribs suck too.
The scariest, and I've done some stupid shit. That's probably the scariest like experience I've had.
I didn't know you want to wear the bed. I'm sorry.
And I didn't even realize how bad it was until
Cat, mute yourself.
Oh yeah, mute myself. Sorry.
And I didn't even realize how bad it was until a couple days. Well, the next day I couldn't walk, and then after a couple days I felt that started feeling where it hurt and realized that bone was.
Oh, was that the sidewalk slam?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about because we're talking about. Like the most notable injury I've ever had, I think, is when I literally almost got paralyzed.
Yeah.
For me,
that was gross.
Oh yeah, it was gross. It looked great, not fun, and like I said, I didn't realize the extent of it until a couple days later when I felt that. I was like, man, it fucking hurts right here, and I kind of put my thumb in that spot, and there was a hole where the bone was supposed to be, and I felt down my back, and sure as shit, the bone was pushing against my spine, and I went, that's why it hurts so much.
Yeah, that's the same match. I had 8 or 9 chairs land on my head, so that was fun.
So the worst, it's a mix between when I jacked my knee up in practice just by turning,
That's the way it happens.
It was literally, I had someone in the corner. I ran in to do a backsplash, like run and turn and splash.
Yeah.
And my brain was like, hey, your body wants to go this way. My lower body was like, we're going to go this way. And my knee just stayed still.
Ugh.
The worst part about that one was I couldn't walk on it or whatnot. And then me not thinking, I led with that leg when I stepped out of the dojo. So, all right, I'm going to give you a story now. That feeling when you've been sitting too long and your legs go to sleep, then you stand up and then your legs are like newborn baby deer, like you're just all over the place? That's what my knee did. It just bent in and just back out.
All of us just twitched a little.
The ribs was because I was supposed to take a post, and it was in my first match, and I wanted it to look good, and it needed, in my brain, I said to myself, I was like, self, you need to take this post because you got to be down for a minute, and you got to take it good, and Dad always yells at you not to do things half-ass, so fucking send it, Bubba.
Yep.
And I sent it, Bubba. And it whipped my body around, and I smashed this on the crown of main ring, right on the edge. Yeah, I took it all on the rib. And I finished the match, but after, dude, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't fucking move.
Sam, I'll tell you legit, though. At least it was the crown ring. The crown ring has some give. Larry's ring has no give around the edge. If you go to the edge of that ring on your ribs, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Especially if you hit the wrong edge. If you hit the edge, fucking bowed on that.
Yeah.
Cat, I actually have the video of the injury.
Oh, yeah? Send it through me through Facebook or something. When you were talking about that, it just reminded me. I'm trying to find it. Seth Rollins, when he took the angle of the fans, when he took that bump from I think with The Rock, and you see his knee just go blip on the like the opposite direction it's supposed to go.
Yeah, his knee's fucked. He's out for surgery.
Oh yeah, he's done for a while. While you're doing that, I think we talked about DK fucking DK's speech, and we never got to it. So we just talked about injuries and stuff.
All right, I'm sending this to you right now on Facebook.
Okay. All right, we're gonna watch this.
Agro's music's weird.
Oh my god, I love that. It's on my Spotify playlist. I love his new theme. It's such a bop. I think he's using it, but it's such a bop.
So it's actually his old theme.
Right.
Same dick.
It's a singles shit.
Same fucking dick.
Just transpired over the last 45 minutes. And I know it's been a long
48.
Day.
Way to ruin the moment. 48.
And I appreciate each and every one of you sticking it out. If I could just have just a couple more minutes of time.
This is very old DK gear too.
Yes. Besides the shirt.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I want to say, and I don't have the time to say all of it. I don't really know how to say all of it, but I wish that I could stand here in full confidence and look each and every one of you in the eye and tell you that I tried my absolute hardest. Truth is, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this match. I didn't ask for the stipulation. I didn't really ask for it to be unsanctioned. But that's what it was. And I wish I could say that I tried really hard tonight. I wish I could say I put my best foot forth. But I didn't tonight. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much of a piece of shit you are, Aggro, I can't help it but still love you.
Don't say that.
When you've done what you've done, and the past is the past, and whatever the future's gonna be will be. The truth is, I haven't really been putting my best foot forth for a while now. For the last year, 2 years, 3 years, honestly, I've lost track of time. I'm broken. I'm not me. I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror. The last couple years, however long it's been, I feel like I have been walking barefoot through my own shards of ceramic scattered on the floor of the person that I once was and the person that somewhere along the way I lost. And Aggro, I know you may have a lot of people here fooled, but I know damn well deep down it was not easy for you to do what you had to do. And at the end of the day, I don't blame you, because when you're a tag team, you're connected, you're a single unit. And when you're hurting and you're as broken as I've been, it's naturally gonna affect the other person. And Aggro, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being so broken and for being an absolute shell of myself, and I'm sorry for dragging you down, and I'm sorry for phoning it in, and I'm sorry for being distant, limitless faithful. I'm sorry for being distant. I'm sorry for being broken. I'm sorry for not being the person that you watched grow up in this ring before your very eyes for the last 9-10 years. At the end of the day, if there's one thing I can say before I take my leave from Limitless Wrestling forever, I just want to say that I'm talking as Danny right now. I want to remind each and every one of you that me, Aggro, every single performer you see come through that curtain and put their body on the line in this ring, at Limitless, at Grind, at Blitzkrieg, at Beyond, at AEW even, we all, at the end of the day, are human. And if I'm being honest, I need to go. I need to go and I need to pick up my pieces. I need to get back to who I was. I need to love wrestling again like I haven't been able to for a really long time. So, if there's anything I can leave with all of you, we come out here to have fun. The wrestlers come out here to entertain. But remember, at the end of the day, we're real human beings. Just like you. Just like you. Just like you, and 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 all of you. I'm just like you. I'm not perfect, and I never will be. I'm going to leave my wrestling shoes right there. And I'm going to leave. I guess it's going to be for good. But...
Damn.
I can make one promise to all of you. I'm going to go and I'm going to fix myself.
Didn't mean to do that, sorry.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for the entire crew, the referees, Greenleaf, Nate, Harry in the back, Randy for giving us a home, Ethan Scott for always busting your ass, people like Zach and JP always being there willing to help a hand, all the trainees at the Limitless Dojo always eager to help, all of the talent that put in the miles and make the drives to come up here to Maine and entertain all of you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for always loving me. Thank you for always supporting me. And thank you for always making me feel just a little less broken.
Wow. I hadn't seen that. It's the first time I've seen that. So.
Yeah. Oof.
Damn.
Oof.
Well,
a lot of that.
Start a stream.
A lot of that is a shoot.
You can hear it in his voice. There's nothing planned about what he was going to say. He knew. You could tell he had the cusp of what he wanted to come out with, but nothing specific, and everything was right straight from the heart. So that was tough.
That was rough. Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
God.
I hope. All I could say is I hope he's doing a lot better.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, he popped in the chat a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Just
to shoot shit.
Just as kind of like, hey guys, how's everyone doing type thing, and we're like, holy shit, Danny, what's up? You know, and yeah. And
I always want to message him, but at the same time, like I don't want to.
Feel like you're bugging him.
Yeah. Just text him, let him know. It's like, hey, just want to know I'm thinking about you, buddy. I hope you're doing good.
What kills me is after Levi and I had a match, our last match against MSP, it was MSP and POS for the titles.
Yeah.
I can attest that was not my best match. Danny reached out to me the next day. Like he knew after that match, I was hot. I was not happy about what happened. I power walked through the locker room. I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off at myself about it. It wasn't even like I wasn't mad at anyone else but me. So I like power walked through the locker room. I was kicking shit outside, and the next day, man, he hit me up. He's like, "Yo, you're good. Don't let this discourage you, man." And I'm like, sometimes that's all you need to hear, you know. Just
right.
What are your, Ben would just tell me I suck and get over it.
Who's Ben?
Which is why I love Ben. But Danny just reaching out, taking that moment, just be like, "Hey, man, it was cool." So him not being around is gonna be it's weird. It's been weird, honestly.
Well, it's just like
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Not try to go back and kayfabe and whatever, but it's the Limitless Dojo is completely different now. We only have 2 trainers now that are basically just training in. Eric, which I understand why Eric Johnson, he kind of walked away because I'm honestly surprised he's still wrestling. I figured he would have been. I thought after he dropped the Let's title, I thought he was going to retire.
Did he ever actually have the Let's title?
Yes, he won that.
He actually won it.
Yeah, okay. He actually won it.
Yes, everybody seems to get this confused. Eric won the title. BRG just stole it.
Yeah. He actually did win.
The worst part, I was at these shows and I still don't remember.
No, but you're not the only one. Is the thing. Every time that I mentioned
the fans did too.
Everybody was like, "No, he wasn't."
Yes, like, he actually won it.
So I'm gonna have to bounce for like 10 minutes in like
go
10
for it.
minutes. So
Yep.
I'm good right now. I gotta leave in like 10 minutes. So
All right.
and then I'll be back.
BRG just stole it and ran off with it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So,
He was champion. He is a former Let's champion now.
You're looking at a future Let's champ. No.
I just want to win the damn tag titles. I've been chasing those things for 2 years now.
So, did you guys hear about Tony Khan's comments at the NFL draft?
I sure did.
I have.
I was gonna say didn't because I really don't give a shit about anything to do with AEW.
I don't either.
I will tell you the honest truth. When it comes to the NFL draft, I watch the first round, maybe the second. Most of the time with the first round, I'll see who the Patriots pick. Back when Belichick was picking, it was always like some offensive line player from Alabama, and I was like, I don't know who that is. So like, for a while.
So, for those who missed it, the storyline is going on right now with AEW, which makes zero fucking sense because of their past things that have been going on.
Thanks, guys.
The Young Bucks and Jack
the Rainmaker
attacked Tony Khan, and Tony Khan didn't fire them, even though he fired CM Punk for yelling at him.
Yeah.
So this whole storyline is just complete garbage as it is because people are pointing that out. It's like you'll take a fucking tombstone pile driver basically, but you'll fire Punk over words that he said to you.
Can I stop and actually talk about that move for a split second? That has to be the dumbest move, seriously, as a finisher. Okay, I'm gonna get you up. The tombstone pile driver is fine.
I didn't
but the fact
see.
that the other guy does a flip and it's a flipping spike pile. What?
Here.
Oh, they did the Bucks. Yeah, they did one of the Bucks finisher, the one where they do the two
driver. It's the Tony Khan driver is what they
the
fucking tombstone, the fucking tombstone, but the other one does the flip fucking like assisted tombstone. It's an assisted tombstone pile driver, but it looks like shit.
Yeah,
there's no fucking need for it.
No.
Just tombstone. There's no fucking need for a flippy fucking push down to. It's fucking stupid.
It's look what I can do type like flashy bullshit.
It's fucking stupid. Although I will admit, I was just watching. I tend to watch finisher compilations. No. So I tend to watch finisher compilations. That's actually where I got our finisher from. I think it was the Briscoes hit it like the Death Valley gimmick. I think the Briscoe brothers hit it one fucking time way back, and it was on one of these finisher compilations, and I was like, "That's what we can do." But I will admit that I saw some dude who he did like a bottom rope front flip into an elbow drop. So it was literally just like he bounced off the bottom rope and then foot bumped and hit an elbow drop. And I was like, I could do that. I watched it back like 3 or 4 times because I was like, how is he fucking doing this? And then I was like, I could do that.
I can do that.
Hey, I thought I could do a frog splash, and that didn't work out too well.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You can't climb the ropes, so.
The ropes are freaking loose, man. It's so loose.
Oh, yeah, the ropes are loose.
Yeah, I think the only thing is I'm gonna try it on Monday when I go to training. I think I'm gonna try doing it off the middle though, because I think the bottom rope is too low for me. I don't have the momentum to flip myself. But I'm pretty sure if I could springboard myself off the middle rope and just fucking flip bump and drop an elbow.
It feels like some Jossie would do.
It's exactly what it reminded me of was like Jossie. Yeah, that's a Jossie move. All right, let's watch Dumbass speak about his dumbass company.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, like I said, this whole fucking thing doesn't even make fucking sense. But yet we're gonna go for it anyways. Like it would make more sense if the Bucks would have came out and would have been like, yeah, we know we did this, and Tony Khan's such a bitch that he's not going to fire us, and like this even chose it, something like that. Because the first thing people brought up, like, okay, so you literally have talked about you were in fear of your life from Punk. We saw the video. We see how much of a bitch you were about it. You got yelled at probably for the first time in your life, and you fired him. That's what it seems like.
Oh, everybody's been saying it. He wants to be one of the boys so bad that now at this point, they're drowning. And at this point, he has gone back on one of the first rules that was established when the AEW became a thing, which was Tony Khan was never going to be an on-screen character. He did not want to be an on-screen. That was not the fucking point. But they're drowning now because they did the whole Punk footage thing, and everybody has watched the footage and gone, holy fucking shit, so Punk was actually telling the truth. And that's what it is. He's drowning, so Khan's like, well, I'm just going to make myself an on-screen character because it will make it so it will get more attention to AEW. And it's like, no, it's not getting you any fucking attention because nobody gives a shit about you.
So here's the thing I have with Tony. He doesn't have. I was listening to the Cornette podcast, and I agree with him 100% on this one. Now, when you think of on-screen characters, you think Mr. McMahon, right? He's got this presence. Triple H comes out, man. You hear Time to Play the Game comes out. Triple H has got a presence. Eric Bischoff, when he was in WCW, had a presence. Even Dixie Carter had something to her, right? When Tony comes out there, he's this meek little, like, thanks, guys. You know, he's got nothing. It's like, we're supposed to believe this guy's in charge.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not going there.
I think what they're going for, and this is just my personal opinion, I've browsed different wrestling groups on Reddit and stuff like that.
Oh boy, Reddit.
The general consensus is that it is the reason why Tony Khan didn't fire the Bucks is because they're EVPs and that he doesn't have a way to fire them because of their contract. So that's never been said. In my opinion, that's trying to plug a hole where there's a hole. And then I think they're trying to go for more of a shoot style with the whole Bucks and Jack Perry, and because he was involved with the All In. Jack Perry was suspended and not allowed on AEW because of that. So everything that has led up to this point has been a shoot. So I think they're trying to make this look like a shoot. Like, Tony's not an on-screen character. He was attacked. Like, all of this, like, I don't think it's, in my opinion, it's not good and well done.
You know what this feels like? This feels like Vince Russo's writing it without McMahon over him going no to things.
It's gotten, AEW has run its course, and if they don't change very soon, it's gotten to the point where it's late stage WCW.
As I say, it's WCW 2001.
And that's what everybody is saying. Like, everybody, it's late at this point. It's late stage WCW, or it's 2000s fucking TNA, like Bischoff and Hogan run fucking TNA.
Yeah, like 2004 TNA.
Yeah, and it's just, the problem is that in this day and age, they can keep themselves afloat by just having the diehard fans. Back then, there were the bunch of WCW diehard fans, but back then it couldn't keep itself afloat with just the select 1,000 or so diehard fans. AEW can keep themselves afloat with just the diehard fans, and even with all the hate and shit coming to it, they don't care. They don't see a problem because they're still making money, because people are still giving them money. But at this point, it's late stage WCW. You know what my favorite fucking part of Omega's return was? My favorite fucking part of Omega's return is when Jack Perry tried to jump him. It's been a little bit since Omega's been in the ring, and you can look this up. Omega fucking clocked Jack Perry in the eye. Like, straight fucking punched him in the face. He ducked under a chair, and Omega's first fucking punch nailed Perry square in the fucking face. That's my favorite thing to watch back from that whole fucking segment. It's just Jack Perry being punched in the fucking face. I think Andy just watched it.
No, I'm actually looking up ratings for.
Oh, yeah. So while you're doing that, awesome. Let's listen to this, and you guys tell me how you feel about the comments that he made to WWE.
Oh, he was very angry at the people that assaulted me. My dad loves AEW, and he's a big fan of what we do Wednesdays on TBS and Saturdays, just like tomorrow night here in Jacksonville on TNT every week. He watches every show.
I got hurt and attacked by the EVPs, but let me make sure I plug the show. That's another thing. Honestly, I don't listen to Cornette, but I feel like a lot of the comments that I'm talking about, Cornette's the one that I heard make them. But that's another thing with AEW. They've got too many motherfucking shows.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
They should have two, honestly. They should have the Wednesday show and like the Saturday show. Two's fine.
I think Dynamite's the one. There's too many fucking shows. I can't remember. I think Dynamite's the one that's on Wednesday, right? That's like their main show. Dynamite, that is the only show people give a shit about.
Yep.
Rampage, sometimes Collision, maybe one segment gets people actually invest. Fucking too many motherfucking shows.
Yep.
Well, the problem is they have too many people under contract that are sitting at home and just getting paid, not doing anything.
They're not sitting at the home. They're going on indie shows and saying, "Hey, I work for AEW."
Names, not the big name contract.
No, I was gonna say the big names. He's right. Are just sitting at home. The ones that aren't being fucking used, but are still under contract.
When's the last time we saw Ricky Starks on AEW?
Ricky Starks is a CM Punk guy. That's why.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. He's one of those guys that he's a good talent. He's a talent that can actually get himself over, and actually people like to see him. And all of a sudden, Big Bill is feuding with Jericho, or which was with Jericho or something. And no, Ricky Starks is just gone into the ethers. It's like
because Ricky.
Yeah. Well, what about fucking? Fuck, what's his name? Big muscular motherfucker, huge dude, mohawk. Fucking
Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Brian Cage. I was thinking the Drill Claw, but the name wasn't coming to me.
Brian Cage is in Ring of Honor right now.
Oh, he is? I thought he got hurt.
Why? Why?
Because that's where they put him.
Why is he working AEW's fucking NXT instead of being on the main fucking promotion? That man has more than enough to hold his fucking weight.
There's reasons.
But here's my thing. AEW has 3 time slots, right? Why isn't one of those time slots simply ROH? This is the ROH hour. This is where the ROH titles are defended. They're not on Dynamite. They're not on Rampage. They're on ROH. This is where the ROH storylines happen. This is where the ROH stuff. And here's the other thing. Tony needs to stop booking. He's a good idea guy.
100%.
He's an awful booker.
100%.
My biggest gripe with AEW, one, in my opinion, it doesn't feel special.
Yeah.
When I watch WWE, especially from a professional televised standpoint, it feels special. I can't see Gunther. I can't see Cody Rhodes. I can't see any of these guys anywhere else.
Cody might not have been a good example, but yeah.
Right. He absolutely is because
he's a good example now. Wouldn't be a good example prior, but
yeah.
He's a good example now.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like outside of the big names, you can see a lot of these other people in a lot of different places.
It's true.
And that's okay. That is okay, but I want to see them presented on live television.
Yeah.
When, like, Hikaru Shida, AEW Women's Champion. She just wrestled Athena in Ring of Honor. Not saying that's a bad thing, because Athena's the longest reigning women's champion in Ring of Honor or something like that.
Hold up.
Yeah.
I thought Toni Storm was the AEW Women's Champ.
Or Ring of Honor.
Okay. Well, no, because you said Hikaru Shida was the AEW.
She used to be AEW.
Used to be.
Champ.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, did I miss something somewhere?
No, she used to be.
I thought
she dropped it. I thought she just dropped it at Dynasty.
No. Toni Storm still has her belt.
Wait, I thought fucking Willow Pix was
that's
the fucking.
That's the TNT championship.
Yeah, that's the secondary belt.
Yeah.
There's 5 belts per division now.
You don't have enough of a fucking women's division to have multiple fucking women's heavyweight titles.
I gotta make this point. Hold on. Keep talking, but just
the point I'm making is just my problem is that nothing AEW does is special. It's not, their presentation isn't special. Okay, and then I am truly concerned about the risks some of these wrestlers are taking now. I watched a clip last night of Al Snow watching a clip of Will Ospreay against someone, and it was like they went to do the Sami Zayn brainbuster in the corner.
Yeah.
But instead it was like a stalling vertical and then just dropped straight down, and Will Ospreay landed on the top of his head and shit. What's the payoff there?
Well, look at Darby before he got injured. Look at that fucking insane 40-foot high flip fucking onto the concrete bump that motherfucker took.
Hold on. I can say Lee Miller just joined the chat. Yes, the cat. How's the foot?
How's my foot?
Yeah.
Lee Miller, fuck off. No one likes you. Go away.
Actually, I for those who don't know, I was chasing my kids.
No, don't. Oh, come on. You gotta make it kayfabe, brother. You were running in the forest and you stepped on a big rock.
Why the fuck would I be in the forest?
Because you're Big Cat. Make it kayfabe.
I was playing with my children as a good father, and I moved a Godzilla toy because I looked at their spines. I'm like, oh, that's gonna suck if I step on that. And as I did that, I stepped over his gun that he threw at me, his Nerf gun, and onto a T-Rex toy, and took at the T-Rex toy. It had 3 claws. It took all 3 in the foot, and it felt amazing.
I bet. By the way, man, you showed the title belts on the screen right now. I was just looking at the list of current champions, and it's kind of wild when you look through it because some of these names are now it's cool to see them, but at the same point, it's some of these guys maybe I don't know. So Swerve's your AEW champion. Cool. Swerve Strickland, he was one of the hottest acts coming up. I think, honestly, him winning the title hurt him a little bit because I don't think he's as hot now because of Moxley. That's the other thing. The New Japan belt should be defended in AEW, but that's just me.
Yep.
Okay. My thing is, I have a few different things. Swerve is champ, cool. That he's fucking. He's an awesome performer. He's got a great character. That's great. For starters, I don't like the fact that Joe was the transitional champion.
But Joe held it for 6 months, man.
Still, it was the first title the first heavyweight style title that Joe. Fuck off, Con. I'm booking your show better. But no, I agree with the New Japan comment. It's the same way with ROH. That's why, if you think about it, AEW itself, yes, has a fuck ton of titles, way too many titles. But at the same time, it feels like AEW has way more fucking titles because all the ROH titles are defended on AEW. The fucking New Japan titles are defended on AEW. So it feels like, along with the 15 fucking titles that Khan has, also you got the fucking 10 from ROH, and you got the fucking 4 from New Japan, and you got the fucking 8 from this, and the 12 from...
You know what I think it is for me? I think it's pacing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Let me just hold on, Matt, before you start getting going here. So I just looked here. AEW has 9 titles. 9.
Oh, yeah.
On one show. WWE has 8 titles over 2 shows.
Yeah. 9 titles, and I hate the fact that I think I could name all of them.
So,
what?
Well, it's not that hard. You know, you got the TNT title, then you got the TNT women's title, then you got the tag
TBS.
champ. Oh, sorry. And then you got the tag champs and the women's tag champs, and you just got to fucking, because every corresponding title needs a women's title, even though you don't have a fucking women's division big enough or good enough to give them that many goddamn titles.
So you have the AEW World Champion, the AEW TNT Championship, the AEW International Championship, the AEW Continental Championship. Just merge those two. The FTW Championship, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the AEW Trios Champions. I forgot that was a thing. AEW Women's Champion, AEW TBS Champion.
Oh, the AEW Trios Champions that they gave to fucking Switchblade and the Gun Boys, who are also the ROH champions. So now they're the unified fucking Trios champions because they have both Trios titles. Also, you said Continental and Inter champion. What the fuck was that?
The AEW International Championship is being held by Roderick Strong at the moment. The AEW Continental Championship, that's the one that has a tournament every year, and whoever wins the tournament wins the belt. But I don't get it. I don't know. That's one held by Okada.
See, my thing.
Okada has a title?
Yeah.
Yep. My thing about all this. A wrestling promotion should only have as many belts as your top stars, I should say. So for me personally, I think there should be your main promotion belt, for the WWE. A heavyweight I actually enjoy having like a heavyweight because it's like you can have a different like style, whatever, clash, whatever. Heavyweight and then tags. And that's literally like the only belts I see that matters. Like everything else besides that, it's just a
indie.
I got
depending on the size.
Okay.
Depending on the size of the indie promotion, my belief is you should have 3 titles max. There should be your main title, your heavyweight title, the grandest prize in the promotion. You should have a tag championship. And then if you have the guys, the consistent people that are there, and the crowds, you should have some sort of interim or middle ground championship. Look at it like if you merged Limitless and Let's Wrestle and you looked at it as one brand, there are 3 titles. There is the grandest prize in the state of Maine, the Limitless Wrestling World Championship. That is the grandest prize.
Legit.
Then you have the Let's Wrestle title, which is your middle interim. That's the title you put on the main event guy that you don't know if he's ready or not for the real main event. And then you've got your tag titles. Fucking smaller promotions should not have 18,000 fucking belts. There should be one. Yeah. There should be one. It should be your heavyweight title.
Right now with MPW, I think we have 5 altogether. There's the World. 4. There's the World. There's the Open Weight. There's the heavy hardcore, and there's the tag. So 4. That's not bad.
Hardcore, okay. But see, to me, you have 3. You have the heavyweight, you have the tag titles, and then the open weight, which is that interim middle title. Yeah. The hardcore is a title, but it's a title for a specific set of wrestlers.
That makes sense.
a specific set that only wrestle the hardcore, that only want to do the hardcore style. That is fine. That is you have one more title, but that title means something and can be important because that's a title that only can, that's a title that is defended. And when it's defended, the fans know, okay, it's going to be a hardcore match because it's a hardcore title. That's my thing with Crown. Crown's the same way. Crown's got the hardcore title, then they have their heavyweight, then they have their Arustic.
Yeah.
That's okay. The hardcore title, when your hardcore champion comes out, the fans know, okay, it's a hardcore match. That's a specialty match. The Aroostook County is that interim, and the heavyweight is the heavyweight.
I've been twisting Vaughn's arm to maybe get tag titles too.
Yes. I think
that would be
tag titles, but then again, it also has to have consistent tag team.
Yeah, it has to have that's the thing with Limitless, and I think that's why there isn't tag titles in Limitless because there aren't enough homegrown tag team talent for Limitless to sustain a proper tag title run. If they did Limitless tag titles, they would have given them to MSP, and MSP would have held them forever because there's no other team. Sure, there are teams that show up every show above the rest. The Shook Crew, back when I first started, were there every show. Above the Rest is there every show. MSP. Fucking MSP was there every show. Sure, but MSP is the only one that, at the drop of a hat, could be at the fucking venue ready to go.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing with Let's. The Let's titles are there because when they first became a thing, there were enough teams that were in that interim section, where that NXT style section, where they could have tag titles, and it would give the tag teams the feeling for what a main event scene was going to look like. And now they brought the Let's titles back because people are getting, there is such an influx of newer wrestlers, newer athletes. But sometimes when you're newer, when you're starting out, you need a tag team to push yourself to the next level. You end up in a tag team, and unless you really get the feel for it, you end up in a tag team for a little bit because that's what you need to push yourself and to get yourself used to that main event spot. I mean, look at the Seawolves. That's what happened with us. I was just starting out. Dylan was floating in singles competition, and it became a thing where we put together this tag team so we could try and bring ourselves up to that next level. And then, granted, we would have kept going with the Seawolves for as long as we could fucking run it for. But honestly, my moving out here, I feel like it was the right time. I know that we give each other shit for it, and we could have done a lot more. Yeah. But for where we were at, I feel like we did. Yeah. That's my thing. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was time for it to end because I feel like we hit a wall and we weren't doing anything special. We were facing the same people. Yeah. We were traveling the same promotions. Yeah, we were winning gold at other promotions, but we weren't. The other promotions were smaller than the main promotion we were working. Yeah. And in the main promotion we were working, we were at a wall. We couldn't do anything. And it just so happens that the opportunity for me to move out here and for me to leave cropped up, and it was the perfect, for me, I feel like it was the perfect time for the Seawolves to end because we were at a wall to what we could do because we can't get any better. Because that's the thing. Unless you really get a knack for it, like MSP, for instance, you can't get any better if you become stagnant and you're facing the same people over and over and over and over and over. That's why. And as a tag team, especially, we can't get any better if we're facing the same build, the same size, the same strength. Like, I have lists of tag team moves that we never hit in over a year of wrestling as a tag team because we couldn't. Yeah. Because we were being booked against people that couldn't do it. Yeah. So, and that, I mean, hey, the last time we did this, MPW made the comment about bringing that back. Just because the Seawolves broke up in one promotion doesn't mean that they're gone forever. It just means that the wall has now been moved because we can get better. We can reach out and go to different shows, go to different promotions. I mean, you reached out and got a...
All they had to do is turn us.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's all they had to do to give us a fresh coat of paint. They just had to turn us.
I mean, you reached out and got yourself booked at a brand new promotion against a fucking good athlete, a good opponent.
Yeah.
That's going to be a learning opportunity for you. I mean, I know that we had our gripes with NCW, but I mean, you wrestled fucking homeboy with the handlebar mustache, fucking ZPB. Yeah. You fucking wrestled ZPB. I mean, that's a fucking learning, like, that's a learning opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, he's wrestling, he's wrestling Rip on, he was wrestling Rip on Grind and fucking Beyond. And so, that's the kind of thing where if you hit that wall, you got to reach out and try and get yourself into new promotions like you did. Like, you're getting a new promotion. I mean, I'm wrestling, I promoted it last time, but May 18th, the Alpha 9 tournament, I'm wrestling in that tournament, which is like this territory's Vacation Land Cup. So I'm getting to wrestle against, hopefully I'll get to wrestle against guys who I can work with. I mean, apparently my whole thing,
listen to us. Elite, man, I will 100% say more tag teams. Yes, I want to work. Kat and I were talking to, I was talking to Neil from MPW not too long ago, and he's like, "Who do you want to work? Like, who do you want us to bring up?" And I'm like, absolutely hard work heroes. I want to work Guapo Suave. I'd like to work Danny Adam and his Rustache, his tag partner. I can't remember their tag name. Kat's like, I want to work Shook Crew. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's work Shook Crew,
I want, for that thing that we were talking about last time, if we can't get opponents we were talking about, I really want fucking, like, Sam and Guapo Suave, if we still do the trios thing. If we can't get the ones that we were talking about before, because you can't get them all on the same date kind of thing, I think Matthew, not this Sam, fucking
Radcliffe.
God, I was gonna say, man, I've been away that long, I can't remember his fucking name. Radcliffe and fucking Guapo Suave.
Yeah.
That I think would be fire. But I was telling you before we started the live about training on Monday and about how I had set the record and stuff with the bag drop downs. And my point to that was the booker. Like, I told the booker on Tuesday, I was like, yo, I'm definitely 100% down for Sunday. Like, I can 100% do the show on Sunday. And I had talked to him on Monday, and he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting you with this kid. And he's got like 2 or 3 years of experience. He's out of Vegas. Like, I told you guys about it. It's going to be like a lucha style match. And so I hit him up on Tuesday. I was like, yo, like, I'm definitely down to wrestle. Like, let me know who, you want, who I'm going against. I'll cut a promo kind of thing. And he hit me up and he was like, cool. The dude's name is, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but he told me the guy's name. And he's like, I put you in there with a vet because I didn't want you to have to work down to like a new kid's level, because I think I surprised them once again with my cardio ability.
Yeah.
So it kind of, and my point to that is we were talking.
Maverick. Fuck off, Maverick! No, just kidding.
my point to that is we're talking about the wall, and I can already tell that I'm gonna have a lot of fun out here, and I think I'm gonna do a lot of cool things out here because the booker for the promotion that like I'm training out their school and everything already can see that I could hang with the newer talent they're bringing in, but I don't need to because I can go to that next level because my cardio gives me that next level. My ability my psychology and things can push me to that next level. And I think he saw that on Monday and was like, I'm not going to put him with the kid that's only like 2 years into the business. I'm going to put him with the dude that's, 15 years into the business because I know that he's going to get more out of that match than he's going to get out with the fucking.
Yeah, it's like the time we went to the fair show. And Larry's like, oh, yeah, here's this kid who's worked 4 matches, and here's this kid who's worked 1. You guys got to do something with it. And we're both, you and I were like, what now?
Yeah, I mean, look at our. Match. Yeah, I mean, look at our match now. I wish there was film of that match, bro. That was like the one fucking time we hit Valhalla Calling perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, look at our match with the neighborhood. When we went down to Vermont, that's kind of, I don't know if I mentioned it, but that's basically what I'm doing on Sunday. It's a block party, like it's a Cinco de Mayo block party. So that's basically, it's basically the same thing we did in Vermont. The ring's outside in the middle of the fucking, like in the middle of the parking lot. And it's a huge, I mean, I saw the picture for their Cinco de Mayo thing last year. It was a Vermont, like our crowd in Vermont. It looked like that same size.
Cool.
So, but that's basically what I'm doing. But look at the fucking match with the neighborhood. Those guys formed their tag team like around the same time that we did. And they, like, our match with the neighborhood was fucking awesome. Like, I love that match. It's one of my favorite fucking, I think it's probably one, if not my favorite match we wrestled as the Seawolves was the match against the neighborhood in Vermont.
Yeah.
Because it was just perfect, even when you got knocked the fuck out. Like me and V and like Monty fucking. No, Monty fucking clipped him with an elbow hard as shit.
No, it was the moonsault.
No, it's his. Yeah.
He caught me right here under the eye, and I didn't get knocked out, but I got knocked loopy.
Yeah, so Monty had been practicing the moonsault for a couple weeks prior to this match we had. So he decided, he was like, yo, I'm going to do the moonsault on y'all. And we were like, all right. So he did it, but he did it. And I don't know if it was, if Dylan was too close or if he was too far, but he came down and then hit Monty's knee, just fucking clipped Dylan, and it sent him off. And he was loopy, and he like was next. Like he was supposed to set up for the next thing, and Dylan was fucking like on the ground holding his face, and me and Monty just looked at each other and we were like, he ain't getting back up. And then Monty fucking
it was almost finished anyway. Like we were like,
yeah, it was. We were right at the end, so it was just like Monty fucking. They had a heart attack style thing that they did for the finisher, so Monty just fucking tagged V in and fucking gave me the fucking atomic, and Monty just looked at V and went, fucking hit him, we're finished. And I was like, yep, here it comes. And I just fucking ate it, and we called it good. And it was exactly what it needed to be, even with the one spot that we missed. And I think it's probably one of my favorite matches we had as the Seawolves. And it's because we were able to get away from that wall that we had hit, even at that point. And we were able to wrestle somebody completely fresh in a brand new area. And we had people fucking hating us.
Oh, yeah.
They
that
hated us.
That promo I cut at the beginning because the music wasn't working. I was like, I'll just cut a quick promo. The crowd was like, we want to stab you. There was people who had death threats.
They had sound issues, and we were like both sitting in the ring playing, being heels, playing it. And fucking Andy, like, Dylan looks over at the chick at the sound, and he could just see that she was freaking the fuck out. And he just took a fucking mic and just busted out. Me and him were both like I'm pretty sure we told each other, we were like, if does everybody know who books for Impulse? Am I allowed to say his name?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'd say yes. It's a yes/no weird situation right now because people still work for him. So
I'd say no then.
Well, okay, so I think we both kind of looked at each other and was like, if the booker gets pissed off at us for doing this, we're not gonna we weren't gonna have it because Monty and V couldn't come out, and we were just standing in the ring for like 2 fucking minutes with nothing happening. So Dylan was just like, fuck this shit, and took the mic, and he cut a nasty promo, and we had little kids threatening to fucking stab us. It was great.
I was like, the traffic here sucks. This place sucks. I'm in Vermont.
It was rainy. It was rainy. It was shitty weather. And he was like, fuck this weather. I can't fucking believe we drove down to this hillbilly town in the pouring rain. It was great.
So do you know who can't cut a promo? Tony Khan. Let's get back to this.
I'm surprised you haven't moved on since
we just veered off.
I started.
I see.
I started being
Miller and Big Country Jason Maverick. Lee Miller is my tag team partner. So hello.
See, this is why I can't like be put in a podcast scenario, because I have such a like deep psychological like thinking in the way I think of seriously in the way that I think of pro wrestling. So it's very much I get put on a ask Cat what happens when you put me on a podcast. Put me on a podcast and I'll fucking go. He sat there the whole fucking 2 hours for the podcast and I just went.
Yeah. And you're going right now. Let's get back to this fucking video so we can move the fuck on.
Right.
I don't want to fucking listen to Tony Khan.
Just play it.
Something like that. It's never happened before. You know, AEW, we've been doing this for 5 years. We are the most successful sports startup since the AFL pre-merger. There has not been a challenger brand that has gained as much market share as AEW.
I didn't look that up, but is that actually true?
I wouldn't be surprised that, I mean...
Would the UFC be bigger as a startup?
No, because UFC's first few years struggled hard.
We are greatly misunderstood.
Yeah. No, UFC for the first, I want to say 5 years or so, like really struggled. They had it was a niche audience until like Dana White really came into it. It was really hard, and then they got like the fighter on like Ultimate
Fighter,
the Ultimate Fighter, and then the pay-per-view started picking up, and then like you got some stars, you got guys like Iceman and like guys like that, and then all of a sudden it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Because here's a funny thing about it. They make fun of WWE and stuff, but they take storylines from the WWE.
So here's the thing, is with the UFC, it was almost dead until that fight between Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin. That fight really saved the UFC. I just don't know how much I believe that they've gained the largest market shares in the shortest amount of time, because like my brain goes to TNA, even in the wrestling world, back when they had like Sting on there and people like that, like when it was hot and it was on Spike TV.
Well, you also
I guess I listen to that and I think of it more like modern day. I think he's talking like in the modern like setting.
Well, not just that, the everybody kind of forgets too, when AEW started up, it was a extremely big deal. WWE was actually terrified of AEW because what they were doing was the right move. They were hiring guys instead of writers that are just coming out of writing school. They were hiring actually WWE guys doing stories. You had all I'm thinking is Mr. Ass, but it's not. What is it?
Billy Gunn?
Billy Gunn. Yeah, Billy Gunn. You had William Regal come in. You had Chris Jericho was first big name sign, and then it came to John Moxley. There was a big deal when AEW first started, when Cody Rhodes, MJF, a bunch of other names that were signed that were a pretty big deal in the independent wrestling. Like, I think people forget WWE was signing guys to 5-year contracts because they were terrified they were going to jump over to AEW in the very beginning.
That's true.
In the very beginning, it was a pretty good promotion. They were going against NXT, and it kind of felt like the Monday Night Wars, where you could see what's going what. The problem is that over time, it just felt like it was getting stale, and they're continuing to do the things that people were pointing out that this isn't making sense, or why are you doing this? And instead of correcting it, instead of like, I think Paul Heyman had a quote before. I can't remember what he was talking about, but he was talking about like Monday Night Raw or something like that. And he's saying like, if Monday Night Raw was so bad, he would fire everybody everybody in the office, and then he would airlift a new office with new crew down to rewrite everything, like something like that. But it feels like AEW doesn't want to hear the criticism. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool that they took a new approach to, like, they're trying something different. However, the different isn't working. It's been 5 years. The different isn't working. You guys need to go and change it. We know people that we're not going to say names because, you know, they want to keep in private. We know people that were going to go to AEW and said, fuck this place when they got there. So it's one of these things where, like, it needs a correction. It needs help, or it's going to be continuously to WCW to eventually where it's going to be a promotion that is going to be bought up by the WWE just for shits and giggles. Like, I think even made that comment. It's like, if they really wanted to, they could buy AEW right now.
Triple H told that to Billy Gunn at the DX when they get inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He's like, be careful, or my father-in-law is going to buy that piss ant little company of yours.
That's the thing, is AEW is no longer the alternative. That's kind of what you're saying, Kat. Is AEW started when it started out, it was the alternative. It was something. WWE. It was something different.
People were tired of the bullshit that was going on in WWE. If you were a guy that were looking behind the scenes, you were seeing that, what the fuck am they doing to my character? Like, I don't agree with this shit. I'm not making any money, and the product was going down. People, Vince McMahon was not listening to ideas, which is why everybody wanted to go to NXT, because Triple H not only listened, he built off that, or even gave them better ideas, which is why Finn Balor wanted to go back to NXT, because of Triple H. So
it was something different, and now they're doing different, but they're doing different in the sense of WWE. Like, they're no longer the alternative. They're they're continuing to try and compete with WWE, but at the same time compete with WWE by doing stuff different, and those two things do not mix. You can't do your different shit and also try and compete with WWE and push all these fucking shows, all these fucking titles, all these fucking collabs, all these, like, you can't, those two things don't mix, and that's what fucking dipshit on the screen here doesn't fucking understand. And
the irony is, they started as a sports-based presentation, and now they're the sports entertainment where WWE is now the sports-based presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's exactly it.
I have a question.
Mm.
And then it leads to a thought. The question is, where is the disconnect? Because not much in regards has changed in AEW. Tony Khan has been booking since the beginning. There's been other people involved, sure, but it's primarily been Tony Khan.
And
where's that disconnect, and why is AEW not thriving? Because their roster says they should be.
So I think Kat just said it. Okay, finish up, man.
Because that's going to lead into my thought for you guys to ponder before you answer this question. My thought is, I wonder if it's because they very much cater to the smart fan instead of the casual fan. And if that's why wonder if you see a lot of professional wrestlers or people who are training or understand certain aspects, why they kind of shy away from AEW or struggle more with watching AEW, because there's nobody there to say no.
Yeah.
So you have
stars.
You have Jack Perry using real glass. You have Darby Allin throwing himself onto a bed of chairs and coming right down on the top of them. Like, you don't have someone to say, hey, maybe this isn't a great idea. And there's a concern on my end. I know I brought this up earlier, but there's a concern on my end of when is something bad gonna seriously happen?
Yeah. So Sam, I actually got a couple points on that. Okay, so one, my thing with the AEW is when they started, they're like, oh, we don't want faces and heels, but the problem is in wrestling, you need good guys and bad guys. Yep. So a great example of this is like if I'm flipping through 1980s WWF, right? I'm going through and I see the Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude. I know who's the good guy and the bad guy. If I see Demolition and the Colossal Connection, I know who's the good guy and the bad guy. If I see Hulk Hogan and whoever, I know who the good guy and bad guy is.
Hulk Hogan, bad guy, always.
But that goes.
No. Hold on.
But that goes to what I was talking about with that. There's they cater to the smart.
That's what I was getting to.
Fan.
And the thing is like the casual fan flipping through the TV, stopping on wrestling. If you don't know, if you can't understand the story, what the hell, man? If I'm say it's a Marvel movie, right? You come in the middle of a Marvel movie and you've never seen Marvel before in your life. If it's like all of a sudden you get these really obscure characters, one of my favorite Marvel characters is Nova. No one knows who the hell he is. But if you have Nova fighting a Skrull, you're kind of like, who the hell are these people? But if you jump in the middle of Infinity War and you see Captain America, you know who he is.
William Ospreay is the biggest baby face in that company right now, and he's in the heel group.
Exactly. That is the dumbest thing, and that does go into what Sam is saying. You got these guys that are like they're walking around not knowing who's who, and you got like Samoa. Swerve Strickland is a great example. He's in a group like that too. He's the biggest, one of the biggest baby faces. Prince Nana, dancing manager. Manages the heel group? The hell? You know, it makes no sense.
Well, I understand that to an extent because sometimes you just get over.
No, it's AEW's thing since the beginning. They didn't want faces and heels.
They don't know how to book.
But going into the other part of that, they get to a point where I'll give you a second. My brain's coming back to it. Tony is booking, yes, but the problem is, Kat said it too, the talent is also booking. The talent's like, we're just going to do this. Imagine if we walked up to Randy. Randy said, this is what we're doing tonight. And we went, nah, we're going to go do something else. Randy would have our heads.
Randy would look at us dead in the face and he'd say, if you do that in front of my fucking TV, not only will I come out there and beat you my fucking self, you will never work in this fucking company again.
He would send Ben out with
more than likely.
Yeah.
He would send Ben out with a stick and beat our asses.
No, he would come out. He would come out. He would flip that fucking table that he's behind. And he would get in that ring and beat the piss out of us.
Every person.
I think I'm the only one that existed when the whole Lindsay Dorado thing happened.
Oh my God.
And trust me, he'd flip the fucking table and he would lose his shit.
Going back to the conversation, like it goes, that also compounds into what I said is that there's nobody there to say no.
That's it. They had like vets there. They had Arn Anderson. They had Jake the Snake. They had Jake the Snake Roberts. They had CM Punk.
Regal.
They had William Regal. These are guys that know what the hell they're doing.
Henry.
Yes.
Because there's two different types. There's two different locker rooms in that company. There's the locker room that wants to learn, and there's the locker room that has the biggest fucking ego that they don't take. They criticism. They
Cornette
say,
says it best.
You.
There's the Cucamonga kids, and there's everyone else.
Why you think everybody that's big that was like big baby faces aren't working on the show right now?
Yeah,
it's because of that reason.
I also think there is an issue with the pacing of their storytelling.
Yeah.
Everything is very, very long term. So unless you're watching every week, and every show, you have no idea what's going on.
The faction thing comes from Japan.
It's super hard to follow.
Yeah.
Because there's also not that short-term story as well. That story that only lasts from one premium event to the next premium event.
Yeah. Like
instead what you have is you you have a year-long story between, you know, fucking Samoa Joe and X person, and then you then have a 3-year story that's being told about Okada and Kenny Omega, and then you have another 4-year story between I love the long-term story, but you also need short-term story to keep the fans entertained and to also pull in new fans.
Right.
Not everything needs to be Cody Rhodes finishing his story.
Right.
That's why. That's one of the things.
John.
That's one of the things that, like, a company like Marvel, everybody turns to Marvel because they're very good at storytelling. In my opinion, that got finished right after Infinity War, and then anyway, Endgame.
And as soon as Endgame ended, everybody was like, every single Marvel movie after Endgame is like, let's make every single fucking Marvel movie Endgame. They try to cram every idea in it, and it's like,
and that's the problem. So some of them have been okay, but some of them I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I stopped watching everything after Endgame because in my opinion, at that point, it came down to you had to watch everything, the TV shows, the movies, and everything to know what's going on.
Hey, and that's fair, Loki is good.
I heard
Loki is good.
I am sure it is, but I got burnt out because I watched, and the thing I liked about the story arc they did leading into Infinity War and Endgame is, yes, you needed to understand the overarching story, but you didn't have to watch every single one of the individual Marvel movies to know what was actually going on.
By the way, if anyone's curious, Dynamite's ratings were actually up this week. So Dynamite for last week was 621,000. Dynamite for this week was 703,000.
Right, so, big return, Kenny Omega.
I was gonna say, is Dynamite on Wednesday?
Yeah, that's the Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. Kenny Omega came back. So
let's finish the fucking video too. By the way,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I actually I do have a lot of strong comments about what is about to be said.
All right. Good.
All right, I'm not gonna stop pausing it. We're just gonna play it through.
Play it,
and then we'll discuss it.
Zuli, do the thing.
In many years, we are like the Pepsi of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And we're up against a really evil juggernaut. WWE is our competitor. That's who we're facing. AEW, like the Pepsi of pro wrestling. WWE is like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. And I'm really proud of what we do down here.
All right. I think.
Even they were like, what the fuck? Like, and I understand why he said that, because he said that about Vince. Vince isn't there anymore. Vince is gone. They got rid of him. As soon as the shit came out, they got rid of him.
Okay, I'm gonna play my point. The Pepsi of pro wrestling. That's not who you want to be if you're in the cola world. You want to be the Coca-Cola of pro wrestling.
Well, I think he didn't say
the fucking original.
I think he didn't say Coke because they probably would have.
Yes, I know. But
no, the Pepsi thing was a shot at Punk.
I was gonna say it was a shot at Punk. The Pepsi thing was a shot at Punk.
That makes sense, I guess. But I'm sitting here. I think, as a guy who drinks rum, I don't drink rum and Pepsi, my friend.
No, it was a shot at Punk, because Punk's whole thing is the Pepsi. So that was 100% him shooting at Punk. I like the we're against the corporate or the corporate juggernaut, or the evil juggernaut, or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
Like, are they the evil juggernaut because are they the evil juggernaut because Cody went back to them, Punk went back to them? Yeah. Like, how many guys can I name fucking literally left AEW and then shat on AEW because they called out how bullshit your company is? So all of a sudden they're the evil juggernaut? No, they're not. They're the guys who are better than you, and it makes you mad because all the talent you've let go has jumped shit back to WWE and gone, this place actually fucking blows behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, it's how many people have left AEW and they're just like, it's a shit show. Like, now we've all worked for indie promotions that we've walked out of and went, wow.
So well, fuck this place.
And like, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not that guy.
No.
But It's literally, I've walked out of places and they're like, "Are you coming back?" I'm like, "How much are you paying me to come back?"
Because you haven't paid me yet. Second off, before we get into more stuff, when you're talking about like when you didn't know your matches, that the next match going up, that reminds me of fucking one of the fair shows when I won the match, and it was a qualifying match for the King of the Fair show, or whatever it is, champion of the fair show.
Yeah,
walked through the curtain, and I'm like, oh fuck, that sucked. Well, that sucked as in like I was blowing up and shit. Fucking Kid V came up to me and goes, "I'm doing this, this, and this. Okay, see you out there." Runs through the curtain. I'm like, what? I didn't get that. And then everybody's like, "Cat, your music." I'm like, what? I guess we're gonna play it by ear. I guess.
Yeah.
I had something similar to that. It was the Jersey show. I went down to the MSP. So I was actually at a fair show and they hit me up. They're like, "Yo, want to go work Jersey tomorrow?" And I was like, "Sure." So we get there. The show starts at 7. We walk through the doors at 7:05. Guess who's on the pre-show match? I walk in. It's Ryan Mooney. It's Money Dragon. Thank you. And Anthony Gamble, I think was the other guy's name, if I remember correctly. And I walk in. I'm like, all right, guys, because it's like a dojo like showcase match type with the different training schools, right? So I walk in and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm your fourth. What are we doing?" And they're like, "Oh, this, we got this going, we got this going." I'm like, "Okay, I'm a heel, right?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool. I'm gonna set up the first 5 minutes of the match. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna do this, and I'll take the pin." Everyone's like, "Cool."
See, I didn't even have that luxury. Like, it just literally, and it's entirely on me. I don't blame the other two guys. I was so caught up with the scramble shit. I never fucking like they came over and they were like, "Okay, like did so and so get with you about what we're doing in the beginning?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they literally both looked at me and went, "Okay, cool," and turned around and left. And I was like, and it's because I was going out for the scramble, like the scramble music was playing. So I was like, fuck. So I went out and we just fucking rolled with it. And like I said, like I told Joey, the guy who like owns the promotion, I told him backstage, he was like, "You know, that was really good." And I told him backstage, I was like, "I didn't call shit." And he's like, that's what the old timers call working. And I was like, "That's because I was taught how to work. That's one of the things we were taught how to fucking do." Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much they talk to each other, but for me, I think between us, I spoke maybe four times. I can remember once that I spoke, and then once that one of the other guys like told me to do something. And there was one time in the corner that the Chance Matthews dude told me to do something. Other than that, we didn't speak. We just made eye contact and we just fucking went with it. And for me, I was just telling Red Dog on this because I was on his podcast Wednesday. For me, that's an accomplishment. Like, that's something that I like talking about because that shows that both of those guys have a fucking hell of a future, that they were able to do that with somebody who they had no fucking idea what I did.
Yeah, like the four of us could probably do it with each other.
But I'm brand new. They didn't know. Like, one of the dudes in the scramble match literally was like, "So what do you do other than the elbow drop?" Because the only thing anybody remembers about the block party match, the only other match I've wrestled in the state, was the sick fucking spiral elbow drop I hit off the top rope. So I was like, "Well, I do, such and such." But I don't know. And for me, it speaks volumes to those two guys 100% that we were able to, with little to no communication, we were able to just fucking go. And one of them even said, they were like, because I was like, "I didn't call shit." And that was fucking awesome. And they were like, "We called shit and it got fucked up." But it wasn't like I fucked it up. It was like they fucked it up and I saved it without even realizing that they were like fucking up.
I always take pride in the fact if I can. No, I don't always do this because I screw up matches. I'm 100%. I will fully admit I screw up matches. But I find if I can lead a match, I can yes, all the time. I find though if I can lead a match, I can cut. Shut up! I'm oh, you wait till we work, man. I'm chopping your ass all over the place.
Perfect. I'll chop you right back and take.
Oh no, you won't.
titles.
Oh no, you will not. Oh no, you will not, Spanky.
Oh,
That was-
you gotta chop him. You
But
need to chop
with Casanova this last week, it was like we called stuff. When we got out there and like literally, I'd get him in the corner like blah, and I'd say like one or two things, and just it was just. I find it easier if I can lead something now. I don't know why. I think it's just my brain works better when I because I can remember my shit.
Yeah.
If I'm calling my shit to someone else and I'm just working through it. So
Can we talk about Hulk Hogan's lies? I literally have an entire worksheet.
Can I get one more thing in?
no,
Your one more thing's gonna be 15 minutes. Make it quick.
Nope.
under 5.
Nope. Nope. We made him that. No,
He's gonna use burger. He doesn't want burger control.
He's like, nope. You don't get to experience my my intellect right now. Fuck you. Say what you want to say. We're being funny. Fine, whatever. We'll get into it. Oh, do you want to can play that game? Boom. Oh.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
He'll be back.
He'll be
All
back.
right.
He'll be back. Wait
All
and
right,
see.
This weekend, I was, holding up my title of being an unsafe worker as we work MPW. As Daniel Matthews like to say, I actually might have dislocated someone's shoulder during the match.
Actually, I asked him. I actually was talking to him a couple days ago, and I asked how the shoulder was, and he said the shoulders didn't ever dislocate. What it actually sounds like, by what he was saying, everything just got kind of like really kind of jerked, like really bad out of place. Like nothing ever dislocated, but everything pulled and jerked. Like
It was the stinger. It was the stinger.
Yeah, it was basically a stinger.
Yeah.
Because he kind of moved the wrong way to take that cannonball. So
Yeah, I was gonna say for people that don't know, the Friday match we wrestled Dirt City Crew, and because Dylan Nix is still injured from the Whoopie Pie Festival, sadly.
By the way, walked around. I was on the boat all day today, and it still hurts.
Oh, I bet. Because Dylan Nix was hurt, Samuel Matthews stepped in until he stepped out. We did a cannonball spot in the corner, and homeboy,
Jason Devine.
Yeah, Jason. I get a text and make sure he's okay too. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Went to go take the cannonball, but instead of taking it frontwards, he took it like he leaned his shoulder in and found out why you don't do that with big guys like me, and pushed his shit into the buckle, and he thought he broke his shoulder. That's how bad it was.
Oh yeah, I watched that match again today because we broke it down in class, and
How was it in class? You be honest.
Calvin had nothing really negative to say.
Okay, that's good.
If Calvin's good with it, it was pretty good then.
No, he was overall pleased, especially with Jason being hurt in the match, and some of the stuff that he didn't even realize wasn't like necessarily planned or whatnot. So
that's because I will put him over to the day I die because he's this good. That's because you guys had Mike Montero in the match.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
And Mike, literally, I could see it on his face. He walked over, talked to Jason, looked up at you guys, and I could see like his brain working. Like, how am I going to call the rest of the match to these boys in the ring?
Right.
Him and I made eye contact, and I kind of gave him like the like, are you good? And he kind of gave me the but I knew you guys would be fine.
A few moments later.
You can ask Kat. Like, I call him in the back like 6-7 times, and then once before I go out, and
Big Cat Team merch design, ProWrestlingTees.com/Big Cat Tyler Addams.
My new T-shirt.
Unsafe and ineffective.
That's definitely not a T-shirt I'm proud of.
Bro, like, you hurt your coworker. You're such an unsafe worker.
Shut up.
Bro, you are such an unsafe worker that your phone called 911.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that actually.
I slapped my phone because there was my leg because there was a hornet, and I was parked because I didn't want to do this while I was driving. But you know when your phone still thinks you're driving, so I slapped my phone on my thigh, put it back, and then all of a sudden I hear, "We are contacting emergency services. If you do not want this to happen, please cancel now." It's like what? So I was quickly trying to turn it off. So, no, it's like we have detected you were in a motor vehicle accident. We are calling emergency services. If you do not want this to happen, please disconnect.
And somewhere MSP's having flashbacks.
That's true. That's true. Let's talk about this.
Wait a minute. Is it? Hold on. I want to have before we address what was just said. But does that mean that Big Cat has injured everybody on this podcast?
I didn't hurt you or Andy, did?
You absolutely did.
When?
We were. It was an open ring one day, and you did your friggin' Sambo slam to me, and you were like, I hadn't tried this before, so you muckle onto my face. Oh, dude, I hit it real well.
Oh,
but I blew my ribs out.
Yes, I remember that. My finish that we're gonna go to until
Christy
Superfans, right? Yeah, Christy took it.
Vile.
Yeah,
Vile.
I'm pretty sure she saw me do it too, and then didn't connect it, and because I can do this. This could be my finish, but it's fine.
So there was one time Cat almost broke my ankle. Or almost broke my leg, actually.
Unsafe worker!
Cat's like, I'm done with you all.
Who else saw the whole fucking moon as he stood up? Anybody else notice that one too?
So, that's it. But I still see Adam pretty well. But they also have the prepare, so I have the toppers on them. So yeah.
What did you just say, Cat?
It's actually not Superman. It's actually Guardians of the Galaxy.
Just call me the Nia Jax of independent wrestling.
Ah!
So anyway, back to Cat breaking your leg.
No.
So
you
didn't break it. You didn't break it. No, this was in the scramble match. Levi, you were in this with me. Remember? I went to do a jump up senton, kind of like Amber did.
Oh yeah,
I jumped off your back and caught my foot on your shirt.
How was that my fault? How was that my fault?
You know what? Maybe because it's okay to wear shirts. Like I get it. It's okay if you want to wear shirts, but maybe wear a shirt that actually fucking fits you when you're gonna wrestle.
I do.
Because
I wear 3X.
Because that's the same. No, a 3X is flowy on you. That's the
it's
problem.
not.
It's
tight
flowy.
on me.
It's flowy enough that Dylan caught his leg on your ass and almost broke it, and flowy enough that I caught my foot on your ass and broke my ankle.
You guys just don't know how to wrestle. That's it. I'm just the one that's just involved in it.
Oh yeah, and how did you blow out Sam's ribs? What was up with that one? Is that what
He
I was
didn't
saying too?
No goddamn fault.
Bro, that should be your thing now. Just always come up with a reason why someone else got hurt.
You just hurt everybody, but then you just come up with an excuse as to why it's not your fault.
I'm gonna make an unsafe worker T-shirt just to fucking start selling it.
Dude. So the irony here is the entire Lovecraft family. You've heard all of us except for the one that would make
one
sense.
that needs to be hurt.
Don, okay, to be fair, Don doesn't need to be hurt.
I don't need to hurt him.
We're gonna.
It's just the presence of Big Cat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, you were there that day too, weren't you? Yes, because we were tagging.
No, we were tagging. I was out. I was on the outside.
No, were you? Who's that tagging?
Yeah, I was
with
on the
then?
outside recording.
Oh,
I had the footage.
Yeah,
I had
just Big Cat's presence. Just Big Cat's. I want to see that. Just Big Cat's presence fucking gets people hurt. I
crazy.
think my wife just combusted because of Big Cat. Oh!
Well, that looks like the 3D I took from you and JP that one
It
time.
totally does. Dylan didn't know me at the time. Like, we really didn't know each other.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
There was no air. Cat didn't get him up at all.
Yeah.
You fucking tried to kill him!
I jumped too. That's the worst part.
Because I slid.
Jesus Christ!
I'm gonna rename this podcast "Fucking Cat's an Unsafe Worker."
That's death.
Oh, see, that's me.
Yeah,
That's me after this show. The Cat fucking texted me a week prior and was like, "Yo, we should do this at this next show." And it was the fucking spot where the guy's draped across the railings and the dude comes from the ring with a double stomp to the back against the guy on the fucking railing. Cat texted me a week before a show and was like, "We should do this spot." I was like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that spot. I'm gonna shatter my leg."
I would have taken it.
I broke my fucking ankle doing a double stomp in the ring. I'm not jumping from the ring to a barricade to slide off your back and shatter my fucking leg.
I would have done it. I would have taken it.
Unsafe!
I'm gonna change Cat's name in my phone to Unsafe Worker. The Whoopie Pie Festival. So how my leg got hurt was literally the first move of the match. Like, so we did some tchotchke shit at the beginning, and then Dave and I got in and started I started my a little bit of my shine. I literally do a jumping clothesline. The jumping clothesline I've done, I cannot tell you how many times in my match. Kat and I were watching my first match. I do it in my first match. Literally, I jump up to do the clothesline, and the minute I push off, I felt something pop in my calf. I thought I heard it.
Stretch.
And I did stretch, and that's the worst part. I don't think I had enough water in me, honestly, enough liquids in me. And you can see me land.
9 times out of 10 my problems when I get hurt is I'd probably dehydrated. And
you see me land, and when you see me land, I literally stop for a second and like put weight on my left leg. Because normally when I do the jumping clothesline, the next spot is grab him, haul him out, hook him for the suplex, right? I didn't hook him really quickly. I land, I stop. And like I could see kind of like Cat look at me for a split second, and I push weight on my left leg. I'm like, okay, I can walk on it, so I know I can finish this match. So I boom, suplex, flashing elbow, which looked like shit because I was hurt and I couldn't push off correctly for it. Then I tag Cat and I tagged Heston. And I looked at Cat and I'm like, I just fucked my leg up.
Yeah, I was like,
what?
you good? You good?
To
I
be
just fucked your
fair-
leg up. I'm like, what? And, like, it took a second to process. I'm like, oh, that was fine.
You couldn't tell until the end of the match when you were on the apron trying to move and you were hopping on your leg.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't tell otherwise.
Because the adrenaline was pumping through me the entire match. Once the 1, 2, 3 happened, my adrenaline dropped and the pain kicked in. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
See, I thought you said you fucked that up. It's like, oh, I fucked that up. And then I told you, it's fine. And you're like, no, I fucked my leg up. I'm like, oh.
So what we've also learned is that not only is Cat an unsafe worker, but his comprehension skills in emergency situations are just shit.
Dude, I'm waiting for the next match. You 2 work single. He's just gonna be like, don't say fucker, huh, motherfucker?
Oh, I can't wait.
There's gonna be some potatoes in that match on purpose. I'm just letting you know. This is my injury.
Oh, yeah.
He'll stop bringing up.
Oh, Christ. Pretty much.
So I would just like to point out
what is so fucking funny?
That Cat is such an unsafe worker that he hurts himself on
That's
other
what you
people.
were fucking laughing about.
I always like fantasized about like fantasy booking this. I kind of wish they would have done more of my opinion, a Let's versus Limitless show, because I think that would be dope as shit having Let's Wrestle versus Limitless Wrestling show.
I know that we've talked about that before, but here's my thing with that. There has to be enough of a Let's Wrestle roster that also isn't wrestling on Limitless to make a Let's Wrestle versus Limitless show
There is.
work.
Easy.
Now there is. Yes. I agree. Now there is. But also there has to be enough of a Let's Wrestle roster that can keep up and perform at the level of Limitless before
okay,
Randy
yes,
does
I
a
do
Let's
agree.
versus
But
Limitless
hold
show.
on. Also, you don't necessarily need to bring in let's fantasy book this. You don't have to bring in the absolute biggest biggest people, for instance, or people from away, because you have a lot of good amount of Limitless roster here in Maine. You have Ace Romero, Aiden Agro. You have Alexander Lee.
Well, Alexander Lee I would say, would be more
Let's,
for
'cause he's got
Let's.
the title.
Yeah.
I feel like he would definitely be Let's team captain. I feel like.
Right.
Perfect. But then you bring in some guys from Mass, stuff like that.
I gotta. Okay, so if we're fantasy booking this, if we're doing 5v5 Survivor Series style, I mean, now Channing's both Limitless and Let's, but you got to put Channing at the top of the list for Limitless, and I feel like you got to put Channing and Alec both for Limitless.
Yep.
And then you got to have, I feel like Ben and Eric for Let's. I feel like those are those are the first two.
Mm-hmm.
The captain and the co-captain.
Number 3 for Let's. Easy peasy. A game.
Yep.
Joseph. That's an easy one. Who's killing it at Let's? Oh shit.
I know Alex started in Let's, but he's a former Limitless champion. He would be on the Limitless team.
He would be on the. He is basically more Limitless now.
Rourke would be third for Limitless.
That or Desmond.
I'd put Agro.
I feel like Desmond could. I feel like Desmond should be on there, but I feel like Rourke needs to be on there too.
Yeah.
You guys are forgetting about Agro.
I'm not forgetting about Agro. I mean, I feel like Romero probably should be on there too. I feel like that's our 5. And I mean, you could probably switch Rourke or Desmond out for Agro if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's Channing, Alec, Rourke or Agro, Desmond, and Romero. That's our 5 for Limitless. And then it's
this is the one that's hard for Let's.
Yeah,
I do agree with Ben.
Alexander Lee,
Eric. A game.
I don't think you include A game, even though he has that prize and everything from winning the Rumble. The problem is he's been away for so long.
Yeah, but he when he was there, he was one of the top workers. You have to put Jason up there too. He's been working a lot of the Limitless roster lately, so you would have to put Jason Maverick up there as well. In that team.
That's what I'm saying. So let's look at the chat real quick. First off,
this is your tag team partner. Of course he's gonna fucking agree with you.
No, not necessarily. We disagree on a lot of shit. Let's be real.
Okay, so instead of A game, what if we sub A game in for Quasi? What if we sub? Can everybody agree with that?
No, I don't.
Quasi,
but you also, here's the thing though,
because when I think of Let's Wrestle, those guys do not come to mind.
But hold on, time out. You also have to get into the point that Let's Wrestle went from a monthly promotion to 2 to 3 month promotion now.
Right.
So yes, it's gonna feel like they
to keep up with the Limitless roster we're throwing.
No, they have the talent. They don't have the building. That's the problem.
No,
they don't have a building.
No, I'm not talking about Let's. I in the sense of what Sam just said, in that A game and Quasi and guys like that don't come to his mind when you say Let's. I understand why, but at the same time, you also have to take guys that have been reoccurring on Let's that could keep up and have the talent.
Right, you would have to keep
the
up.
Limitless roster.
Right, but you're forgetting a key person that I would put way before A game.
Okay.
Who?
BRG.
BRG's already on there. He's number 1. Oh no, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't on
there.
Okay.
Why is the Let's Wrestle champion not on there?
Because he's not the Let's Wrestle champion.
Well, this is before. This is we're booking it as Let's Wrestle champion versus Limitless Wrestling champion at the time.
Okay.
So it'd be BRG versus
BRG.
Team BRG versus Team Channing Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last time
Lee, BRG, We need 2 more for Let's.
So just so you guys know,
Jason Maverick.
Oh yeah, Maverick. So we just need 1
Yeah.
more for Let's.
the last time that Quasi was on a
We
Let's
wrestled
Wrestle
him.
show was September 8th. So
Yeah,
you're
the last-
looking at almost a year, and there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events since. I'm just saying that
But you
is
could-
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say
with
last
that,
time Quasi was
you
on
could-
a Let's show, we wrestled them.
Yeah, I was gonna, but you could also say that you could put me or Nix on that team, and I don't feel like we fit on that team. No offense to me or Nix.
completely understand, but it doesn't make the fact that, like, if we're doing this in the style of Limitless versus Let's, we can't just choose people that have wrestled under Let's and it isn't synonymous with the brand. Like, if you wanted to do that, you have to do that with Limitless as well and bring in Beef. Beef hasn't been around a while, former world champion. But you don't necessarily right out the gate.
I get where he's coming from because he's thinking more like consistently like on
He's
the
thinking
shows.
of consistently on the shows. We're thinking
So who's our
actually
fifth?
being able to keep up with
Right,
each other.
I'm
Yeah.
putting in both. I'm looking at both.
You're gonna have to do Donkey then. Donkey Boy Bandit is gonna have to be number 5 because he's not only been there, he can probably keep up with aggro as well as probably Ace as well. I would say he wouldn't be able to keep up with Channing. Channing would fucking obliterate him. That's the only thing I could think of then, because he's not only on almost every single fucking show, he's also very popular and has talent.
Hold on.
So,
I got it. The return of Mac Daniels.
Yeah.
see, that would work too, but we're going on what you said. Mac Daniels hasn't been on a fucking Let's show in forever. So why not put A Game on it?
So, hold on.
Mac Daniels hasn't been on since the beginning of March of last year, if I remember correctly.
But he was also on the absolute first Let's Wrestle.
Okay. But we're
And
going
he
off.
ran
We're going off from
consistently.
what you're fucking going off from.
But I'm giving you the reason why I'm saying Mac
I mean,
Daniels.
you're right. It makes sense, but at the same time,
But
like
even the
I just don't
criteria-
think you don't like A Game. That's what it is.
No, not at all. I'm a huge fan of A Game.
He's got heat with A Game.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of A Game. Let me finish talking before you cut me off so I can prove my damn point. Sir! Uncalled for. Unreal. Anyway, Mac Daniels is a former also Let's Wrestle champion for an extended period of time. Extended.
Wait.
Then you have to. I would
Wait,
say we have
guys,
to pull.
we're fucking.
Maverick
Hang
and
on,
put
we're
in
fucking.
Master
wait,
Mike.
we're being fucking idiots. There are two very clear contestants for this. If you, excluding Mac, fucking. I agree with Mac, but there are two more contestants that could fill this spot that we've completely forgotten about.
Samuel Matthews and Lee Miller.
No.
No.
Calvin Strange is back,
Yeah, exact Calvin.
and also Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, if he's still wrestling, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
I
make
literally
more
just
sense.
opened the Let's Wrestle Instagram and was like, wait a fucking second.
Yeah,
We're
that
arguing
would.
over that. We have,
Well,
we have
I'm-
an empty spot. We don't have McCarthy,
So
and
it'd be-
also Calvin's back. So we don't have Calvin on there either.
So we would have BRG,
It would be
Eric
TBRG.
Johnson, Alexander Lee, Mike McCarthy, and Calvin Strange versus Channing Thomas, Alec Price, Ace Romero. I can't remember that Desmond Cole, and then either who would you say?
Or I don't remember who you were arguing for, Sam. It was a double.
So I think you need. I don't agree with the Let's run. I I think Alex should be, not the Let's. I mean the Limitless. I think who's the Limitless ones again?
It's
There was
Channing,
one in there. Yep.
Channing, Alec, Aggro. That's what we're missing. Channing,
Aggro,
Alec, Aggro.
It needs Aggro. It needs JT
Desmond.
Dunn.
I had just thought about him too. JT over Rourke. It would be JT Dunn, Channing Thomas. Team Channing Thomas would be Channing Thomas, Alec Price, JT Dunn, Aiden Aggro, Desmond Cole.
I think you remove Dez for Ace Romero.
Yeah, I would say nothing.
If we're gonna look at this like old school Limitless OGs semi versus kind of Let's OGs, then yes. I could see replacing Desmond with Ace. My only problem with that is I think this would also be a match that would be set up to kind of push newer talent. So I disagree with removing Maverick out of the Let's lineup too. I feel like Dez and Maverick are the two that are the next generation of Limitless and Let's respectively. That this matchup would be the two of them.
So then if you're doing that, then you need on the Let's side, you need to drop McCarthy.
I'd say drop McCarthy and put Maverick in it.
Yeah. Keep Calvin, drop McCarthy.
Keep Calvin.
Then everybody else that's on the list for Let's are basically Let's OGs minus Maverick. And then everybody that's on the Limitless list are Limitless
I hope
OGs.
you're watching Limitless Wrestling.
Are Limitless OGs minus Boofa. So there'd be that hint of the new flavor of Limitless and Let's respectively. So it's VRG, Alexander Lee, Eric Johnson, Calvin Strange, Jason Maverick. Team Channing Thomas is Channing Thomas, Alec Price, JT Dunn, Ace Romero, Aiden Aggro.
Yeah, and then semi main will be a tag team, Vicious Intent versus Above the Rest.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, man, I would love to watch
you guys get murdered.
I just want to say,
I would love to watch Sam take that fucking finisher, the monkey foot knee.
You knew exactly where I was going. I want to take that.
That'd be so good.
That's a perfect screen of your video is frozen down.
That'd be so good.
I want to take that.
I need like 8 photographers around the ring when that happens.
It would just be a squash. It would be a squash.
I need 8 photographers around the ring when that happens because I need the freeze frame picture shot of Sam in the air like this, just going.
Bro, you all know I'd sell it like $1 million.
Oh, that'd be so fucking good, dude.
Oh my god, he's so great.
You know I'd sell it like I would die.
Oh,
you would literally die.
You guys would.
I would do it.
Okay, but
you have to take it. There's nothing
not
to protect yourself. You just have to turn your head and take it.
Okay, but then we gotta get See, if we're doing this, then if semi-main is Above the Rest against Vicious Intent, then the opening match of the show is the Workhorsemen versus the Wild.
I mean, I honestly not
Workhorsemen versus the
not
Wild,
to toot my horn.
Get their asses kicked.
I was gonna say not to toot my horn. I think we'll be a good about 15 seconds before we get our fucking asses handed to us.
Oh, dude, I wish I could say I'd be so fucking jealous if y'all got booked against the Workhorsemen instead of me and Nix. But man, would I buy a plane ticket to fly home just to fucking watch that? I'd buy a plane ticket and I'd sit on the edge of the ring with a bevy just fucking watching y'all get ripped in half.
So I just want to just say, podcast, I to the fans, this is what we're here tonight. I think everybody is exhausted beyond belief, and you're getting us fantasy booking. We will go over the news and stuff like that. Don't worry.
Oh, me and Kat. What's funny is me and Kat have talked about this Survivor Series, like Let's versus Limitless multiple times. Every fucking time our list changed. We could go back to this topic next week, and I guarantee our list would be different. We'd have another 30-minute argument about our list being different again.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let me ref it.
Special guest referee.
Let me ref it. Let me ref it. I'll take
That'd
the
be a
shirt off
very
of Greedy's
quick ref
back,
match.
boy. Let me ref it.
That'd be a very quick match to ref. So the biggest thing that happened on a few weeks ago, few days ago, is Hulk Hogan went on Logan Paul's podcast, and it's
a fucking psychopath.
There's a segment of that has been going viral. We'll get to that. I found a lot of other shit to clip while trying to find where he said that. I skipped all the Trump shit because, this is a wrestling podcast. We don't need politics or anything like that on there.
You will not find politics in this wrestling podcast.
No, that is one thing I've said multiple times. This is a podcast of having fun and relaxing your day. You don't need to be listening to more of the terrible shit that's going on in the world and politics and shit like that. So, with that being said, we all know that Hulk Hogan is a compulsive liar,
Really?
but apparently he did say one truthful thing in this podcast.
Be relevant for that long. That's got to be like the hardest thing about any of these industries.
Logan, if you copyright strike me, I'm going to be
for
pissed.
So long, and you're still at the top. I think because of the way you impacted the industry, you're like one of the founding fathers of wrestling. You're probably on every wrestler's Mount Rushmore of wrestlers.
Oh, dude, come on. Gosh, who knows, man? There's a few haters out there.
Like who? Bret Hart?
Why is he so bitter?
Brett hates everybody.
Why is he so bitter?
Brett
It's
hates
not me. It's Flair. It's Vince.
That's the one true thing that he said during this whole podcast.
Brett and Vince are okay. Well, they were okay. I don't know about now, but they actually
Bill Goldberg.
Yeah,
Bill Goldberg.
I like Brett, but he does fucking hate everybody.
Can I just say this?
I enjoy the fact that has been the way Bret Hart has been for fucking years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ever since he retired. And now all of a sudden it's this big thing. Like it's something.
One of my favorite Bret Hart stories is, I can't remember who was fucking telling it. I want to say it was Nash or somebody.
Probably.
But they were going out, they were smoking weed. Okay? And for some reason, every time Bret Hart got high, all he'd do is talk about Bill Goldberg kicking him in the fucking head and how much he fucking hates Goldberg.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Dude, all I'm going to say is Darren Drozdov got dropped on his head by D'Lo Brown, broke his neck, ended his career, put him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life.
And he still likes it.
And Droz was like, I don't blame D'Lo. Shit happens.
That was it's like one of those situations that, like, the weirdest thing. Like it's the same thing with Rollins doing the buckle bomb to Sting. He's done it thousands of times, and this time he fucking basically ended Sting's career for a bit. But speaking of Bret stories, my favorite Bret is the ones where Owen's fucking with him. Is my favorite ones.
Yeah, Owen had such a.
I just posted a video for you.
That's one
Owen
of
would
the
have
things
fit well with us.
That's one of the things that, like, that happen. I completely lost my train of thought. You said something about
You good, dude?
Bret and Goldberg. I got it back, dude. I've been up since fucking 2 a.m. because I started my first day of work today. It's one of those things that get posted a bunch that I see that it's like, it's like 3 photos of this guy, these two were in a match and this happened, and it's like, hey, it's all good, man. These two are in a match and this happened. And I was like, yeah, it's all good, man. These two are in a match and this happened. It's all good, man. And then the last slide is just a picture of Bret Hart with, I fucking hate Bill. Fuck Bill Goldberg.
I saw that. I think I can find it if you want to
play the clip. I
will play it.
Me and Bret Hart smoked like 7 bowls together, and this dude, all he did was talk about Goldberg kicking him in the face and ending his career. He would start telling a story, and then it would just go back to Goldberg kicking him in the fucking face. It was just really depressing. And then I got to do it again. It was just me and him originally, and then I went to go get coffee for Chris Masters, and MVP was just like, "What the fuck? You didn't get me coffee?" And I was just like, "You want to go smoke pot with me and Bret Hart?" Me, him, Masters, and Carlito all go up, and we're just fucking chilling with Bret. Starts talking about Goldberg. Like, that's just what his brain goes to when he gets fucked up, I guess. Me and Bret.
Is this real story, or is this something?
Yes.
It sounds like somebody just fucking made it up.
You're paralyzed, not angry with Charlin. You're paralyzed, not angry with Joe. Paralyzed was not angry D'Lo. Fuck Goldberg.
Back to what I was playing.
Lord.
I'll never work for Vince again after what happened to my family, and then he's back. You know, it just never ends with him. And I love Bret to death, man. I started with Bret. I remember when I was in Atlanta, I was in the business about 3 years, and I was like 330 pounds, almost 340, all natural. Anyway, and I just
there's the lie.
Remember, Bret used to live across the hall with me, and when I was working for,
all right, Skip.
That I was so big, Bret, Bret was one of them. But we were just all getting started, so it was all fun. But then we got rolling, and he just, man, it's just. He says I destroyed his career. You know, it's like, okay, all right. Whatever, you know, I just don't get it, man, because I love him to death. He's a good guy, and he was
okay. Hold on. Bret says I ruined his career. Yes, you did, dude. Do you remember WrestleMania 10, you idiot? When you came back and took creative control, Bret had beat Yokozuna had beat Bret for the title. It was a fucked ending with salt in the eyes. Or WrestleMania 12. 9.
We're gonna go after that because apparently he's claimed that he never had
hold on.
creative shit.
Let me finish this damn thought.
Anyway, finish your thought.
Yokozuna beats Bret. Fucked finish. Salt in the eyes for Mr. Fuji. Basically, boom, that happens, right? Hulk Hogan comes up and goes, "No, brother, that doesn't work for me." Leg drop, 1, 2, 3. Beat the champion that just beat one of their biggest draws in like 5 seconds.
Yep.
What the actual hell? That made Bret look super weak, and it made Yoko look super weak.
Yep.
So, yeah, I didn't ruin anyone's career. Bullshit, you orange hobgoblin. Get out of here.
So, the next one, he talks about actually Rock at WrestleMania, which is actually kind of cool how he explains how the thought process was with Rock, because we've heard it from different people talking. Like, he kind of has like a layout of how he wants everything done, and like especially with Punk when he came in, he goes, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't gonna fly. Like, this is not how I fucking run. So it's kind of cool how he, discussed his way of doing it old school versus, how Rock was doing it at that time.
Get there, and all of a sudden, we're talking about, okay, we're going to lock up, and he's telling me, and he's got this whole thing in his head. We're going to lock up, go to the corner. You go to throw a punch, I'll duck, I'll block it, spit.
Wait, quickly. This is the first time you've ever been through a rehearsal like this.
Yes. In 30 years.
It's shocking. They told me this.
So shocking's not because the way he was explaining the Rikishi match before too. He's like, "Oh, I told him throw me off the buckle and chart." You told him in that moment.
Yes, Mike. Yes, they call it on the spot.
Yeah,
the entire match.
It's how things used to be done. Yeah.
How?
It's insane.
I was just leading.
Dude.
I was just leading.
How,
the match,
you
bro.
stupid fucking cunt? It's called professional wrestling.
I don't think they mean it in like a negative way. I think it's
because Logan.
Where
Logan has come in
the exact way that he.
Yeah.
The exact way that it's sounding like he means it. Logan needs step by fucking step.
Yeah.
It's been said by people that he's wrestled against. He needs step by fucking step, and if it deviates at all from the steps that are laid out, he gets completely fucking lost and has no idea how to recover unless he's in there with somebody that can recover for him.
Like an LA Knight who would probably
Yeah.
So my point is how it's called professional wrestling. It's what you do when you actually are a fucking wrestler and not a piece of shit just making money off of the fucking sport.
Well, I also think he's more of talking of the old school way of you never went over your match.
No,
you felt the crowd. You went in there and you talked to each other. You worked a match. Well, now it's all laid out of.
Cornette says it a lot too. Like back in the day, the heel and face locker rooms were separate.
Yeah.
You couldn't go talk to your opponent.
Right.
You had basically the agent come up or the booker come and go, "Here's your finish." Work it out.
And that shit works to some degree. I don't like working that way. I know there's guys that do like working that way. They rather just feel the crowd, whatever. But there's guys that know, like, okay, all this shit that we called is not going to be working. Let's go this way, and they'll help, direct the match for the way that goes. So yeah, it's kind of funny just hearing that from Rock. It's like, this is what we're gonna do, and Hulk Hogan's going like, like fucking.
That don't work for me, brother.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, the Rock's saying, "Okay, duck this punch, bang, bang, bang." Then get some heat on me, shut me down, and duck the clothesline, 2 drop kicks over the top, pull me out, run me in the pole. And he's telling me all this stuff. I'm like,
I understood all that.
You got the whole match planned out? He goes, well, no. He goes, these are all the high spots and all the good stuff. I said, well, what if this doesn't work and the people shit on it? Are we going to keep doing this? He goes, oh, that'll be fine, this, that, and the other. Sitting in this 100-degree warehouse is Rocky Johnson, Rock's dad, going, Dwayne, listen to Hogan.
Oh, man.
Dwayne, listen to Hogan. And so Pat Patterson goes, all right, now we want you to go through the match. I said, no. I said, if I go through this match now, I'm going to get hurt. There's no way in hell I can wrestle with no people. I need 50, 60, 70.
Now, when he's explaining about going through this match, I think when he was talking about us having the match at the training center, going over it.
Check something out. Look at the back of his head. He doesn't have any hair. Like, he doesn't have the long hair like he normally does.
Well, it's because it's all falling out. Like, he was having a big-ass bald spot before fucking...
Well, no, but he's always had the long hair in the back. That's always been one of his trademarks.
Oh,
and it's he cut it all off here.
No.
Or it just finally fell out, one of the two.
It probably fell out.
Yeah, it probably fell out.
Yeah, poor Hogan.
1,000 people. I can't wrestle.
By the way, and this is still with your ribs.
Yeah, but I wasn't selling it, bro. I was all gimmicked up and shit. I wasn't selling that shit. But anyway, so then we go to Trump.
My elbow hurts, so I'm selling
in the dressing room. And I really don't even like to get dressed in the dressing room with the guy I'm wrestling, because I want things to be organic. I want to be able to feel. I don't like sitting in the dressing room with the guy. It's just something about that. I just like my cooler full of beer. I have my few beers and stuff, and then I'm ready to go. And so...
He's so old school, man. It's so refreshing.
And that beer for him, he is a real American.
Yeah.
Like I don't. If you ask, like, who is
okay,
number
stop
one
kissing
real
his ass and
American,
get back
Hulk
into
Hogan.
talking about it.
And all of a sudden, I go out to the ring. Now, I've hit the Rock in the back of the head with a hammer, a ball-peen hammer. I put him in an ambulance. I put chains around the ambulance. I've got in a semi. I ran the ambulance over with the semi. Vince is going, do it again. I run the ambulance over again with the semi. I thought for sure I pissed people off. I tried to do whatever I could to get heat because I'm Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah.
The bad guy. Scott Hall, that bullshit. God bless you. But anyway, so now I come out to the ring at WrestleMania 18 and they cheer like crazy. I'm going, oh shit, we got a problem.
Yeah.
Now he comes out and they boo the piss out of me.
Now, for
it's
people
Toronto. Toronto's Bizarro Land.
Well,
what an amazing face where you just stopped that.
I did. But people also forget, this is when Rock started doing more movies and coming in and out of WWE, and people were pissed that he was doing that.
So, I watched this match live. I had ordered the pay-per-view. My ex-girlfriend and I were at my parents' place that night. And we went up, and I was like, I know WrestleMania's on. I want to watch it, so I ordered it live. I paid for it, blah, blah, blah. And I remember watching this, and it went from and I was a pretty big Rock fan at the time, and Rock was hugely over. But because it's Toronto, like I said, it is Bizarro Land in Toronto. Toronto's always odd. Sometimes no matter what happens, it's the most backwards thing ever. So Hogan comes out, NW, actually I think he was using Voodoo Child at the time. Voodoo Child hits, and the crowd comes up, and huge comes up. Like Hogan in the 80s when Real American hit comes up. And I'm sitting there looking at the screen going, what? Then Rock comes out, if you smell the booze just hit. And I'm like, wow. Then that very famous shot of them face to face in the ring when they're both looking at the crowd. You could tell in that moment they're like, we got to reverse everything about this match.
Yeah.
So
happy thing that you said about that.
Yeah.
And so we start the match like you want to do back, and all of a sudden, as he's hitting me, they're just booing the shit out of me. All of a sudden, thumb in the eye, throat, whatever. I said, slow down, brother.
Yeah.
So I said, it takes a few minutes to get this back on track. So I started listening, and we got it back on track. But then once we got on track, man, he was perfect. He pivots, and he makes the transitions, and he knows placement, the timing, the balance, everything he's got is spot on. So it was just like a pleasure to work with him. I wish we'd have never talked, because we really didn't do any of that shit we talked about.
So you just went off script.
So we just basically, and actually usually I call the match in the ring, but he was so good, he was talking to me too. And somebody's that good, I listen, brother, because I can learn on the spot and they're really quick, but that's how it works. You just gotta, it's an art form, and once it's all instinct, and it's heartfelt. And once you really figure it out, and once you get out there, then you can call your own destiny. Then you can, make the right deal for yourself,
Then you can go into business for yourself. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it for that. Yeah, so speaking of going into business for himself, yeah, I know I wasn't gonna say any names there. Hulk Hogan go into business for himself.
The work is when you're working together.
I see.
Or when you're doing something for real. Bro, if I'm making more money than you, that's for real. If I'm a babyface and my merchandise is selling more than yours, that's a shoot.
Yeah.
So this business back in the day used to be about the money and the miles. It's how far you travel for how much money you make. But at the end of the day, if I'm like, WrestleMania 3, God bless the soul, Andre, I made a lot more money than him. Thank God he never found out, but that's a shoot, bro. If somebody's making more money than me, I'm not going to go, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm a heel and I make less money. That's not a work to me. That's a shoot.
I see.
You and I are in the ring and we're fighting and we're driving the same amount of miles and we're busting our ass and breaking a sweat and getting hurt in that ring, and you make more money than me, that's a shoot to me, man. I don't care if I'm a baby face or a good guy. It's a work. It's a work. No, it's not a work. If someone makes more money than you, to me, that's a shoot.
But isn't it always a shoot?
Yeah, thank you. That's what I keep saying.
Okay.
And just because we're working in the ring, but the business is a shoot. This is about making money.
Right.
So for me, I've always looked at it that way. And when I worked for Vince Sr., he always paid the champion more than the guy he was wrestling. So all of a sudden, when Vince Sr. passed the torch to Vince, and all of a sudden, my first check at the Garden was some crazy check, when I beat the Iron Sheik. The next month, when Vince Jr. was running, my check was nowhere near what my first check was. I said, oh, bro, that doesn't work for me. So I tried to keep things going as long as I could with Vince Sr.'s theme. But at the end of the day, for me, the business has always been a shoot, because if someone makes more money than me, that's a shoot to me.
I clipped it at the wrong spot, but at the very end of that, he was saying like, "Oh, you can talk about you made it more merchandise sales, whatever," and he just like. So I understand what he's saying. Like, if you are working with the same person, you probably should be paid, the same. However, people have better skills. I feel like you should be paying for more of who you want to see, and what they are capable of, in that top match or whatever. However, we all know fucking Hulk Hogan took a way bigger payday than basically everybody.
Oh yeah,
everybody. Yeah. You're telling me if I made 10 grand for the match, you wouldn't ask for 20 or 30 there, Hulk? Bullshit. So, yeah, he's a guy that's basically like, he wants to make sure he's the one that gets paid the most.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. So, Hulk Hogan talking about going into business for himself.
One of my blockbuster movies, Santa with Muscles, And,
his what?
And I saw Nash come out, No, I saw Scott come out.
Yeah.
I said, okay, this looks like a shoot. It looks like he's working with the other company. Then I called Big Kev, saw Big Kev come out, and Eric, had asked me if I'd turn heel. I told him to pound sand, And then I saw that going on. I called Eric up. I said, who's your third man? And Eric goes, oh, well, we're going to go with Sting. I said, bro, he's not WWE. I mean, Scott and Kev are WWE. Sting's got nothing, So I'm WWE from head to toe. I'm the third man. Eric goes, really, will you do it? I said, yeah, I'll do it. And Eric didn't even believe I would do it.
But this guy had no creative control. Is what he's going to say in the next clip of that I have right here. That sounds to me like you pushed out Sting to make sure you were the third man of the NWO.
Did you hear? Speaking of that, did you ever hear him and Bischoff talk about the whole thing with Sting for Starrcade that the year that they wrestled in Starrcade?
No.
They're like, Sting showed up. He was kind of out of shape. He didn't have a tan. Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, the reason he didn't have a tan is because he was playing a Gothic Crow character. He's supposed to be kind of pale. It made sense. They're like,
right.
He didn't look like you really wanted it. It was the biggest match of his career. Of course, he wanted it. You guys just probably told him the finish that was going to get screwed up because you probably paid off Nick Patrick.
Right.
And then he was kind of like, well, I can't win this, and it's going to make me look like an idiot, so whatever, I mean, we've all had that moment in wrestling where we get told something, and we're just kind of like, okay, we'll do our best with it and see what happens,
Exactly.
I flew in on a Learjet down to Daytona and basically hid out in a hotel room. And I told Eric, call me, right before when the last match is in the ring before the main event. Because, these guys, there was going to be the last match. Then the main event would wrestle for 15, 20 minutes before I went out there because I would just walk out. But Eric didn't even think I was coming from the hotel, so he had Sting ready to go. Oh, so they didn't believe I would do it. Even Eric was going, because there's several times I had creative control, and I never used it the whole time. But, and I didn't use it this night either. But
yeah, okay.
When I walked out, Scott,
you literally just said that you told Eric that I will be the third man. That is you pushing your weight right there. That is you using your creative control to tell Eric Bischoff that I am going to be the third man of the NWO. You just complicated your own statement right there.
Yep.
But yeah, so now the moment everybody's been waiting for.
I fucking love Hulk Hogan.
I fucking hate Hulk Hogan.
I don't really love Hulk Hogan.
I know.
We get where you're going. Yeah.
Here we go. The viral statement of the week.
That's ever been hated prior to creating his character in the WWE. Awesome. So that's my question to you is like, is it as easy to switch someone who has a blended real life with WWE life into a person that is loved by all when he's not been able to do that outside of the ring? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I love him.
For instance,
I'm in the fucking minority.
That's the 5%.
There's a couple more over there.
It's my mom. Oh, that's Mama?
Yeah.
She goes,
hi. She loves me as far as I know.
Yeah. No, but it's the wrestling fans are very forgiving, if Chris Benoit can do the crap he did and the fans still love him, they're very forgiving. I've made some major mistakes in my personal life.
Yeah.
They're very, very forgiving, but
I'm sorry, what? If Benoit could murder his wife and child to be forgiven? No one's ever fucking forgave him.
Yes, that is the viral thing that's going on for the last.
Is he on the drugs?
Yeah, so he just compared Chris Benoit murdering his family to forgiving him about the shit that he's done in wrestling.
So I think what he means.
I'm not drunk enough for this.
I think what he means is that like people still like his wrestling.
Okay. But I can make it. Go ahead, Sam. I'll make a point after.
I think he's dumb as shit and actually meant what he said and thinks that people are just like, Chris Benoit killed his family, that old dog.
So Sam and I, my girlfriend, were talking about something today, almost similar to this, right? Okay. So let me it's a story, but I gotta explain it. So the new lead singer of Linkin Park has some issues in her past. Now I kind of look at those and kind of go, but I'll give it a chance, right? Because looking at what it is, it's not really that big of an issue. But then you compare it to like someone like a J.K. Rowling, and then you compare it to someone like an H.P. Lovecraft, and you kind of go out with it, right? Now Hogan has not murdered anyone as far as we know.
He murdered people in the business. murder their career.
Career death is a lot bit different than like actually putting someone on a fucking tombstone. So in the long run, where he's going is like, look, people may be able to separate separate Hulk Hogan from Terry Bollea. And it's true because like I'm one of those people I can go back and watch I like older Hulk stuff too, like the 80s, early 90s, back when he's still like actually popular. I can go back and watch and then hold on, let me finish this thought. The minute like Real American hits, I still bop to it. I will hate to freaking admit that I do. But in the long run, he's still a piece of shit.
One of my favorite matches still to this day was with you and Eric Johnson. That whole pop where there was a surprise that nobody knew that you were going to be the next contender against Eric, and everybody was hoping that you would win that match. It still like popped all of us. We had no idea. I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Just that match.
So,
really quick.
Fun fact: there's 4 people in that building that knew it was going to happen. Randy Carver.
That's
Eric
more
Johnson,
than I thought
Ethan
that it was
Scott, and me.
Oh,
you
I
knew?
I knew. There's 5.
There's
Who's
5.
the 5th?
So you're right. It was you, Randy, Eric, myself, and Harry.
Oh, that's right.
Harry knew, and it was. Yep, we were the only 5 that knew that entire time, and I like. It was great hearing everyone's reaction to everything, and also
everyone was on their feet.
Yes, but what's really funny, so like, if you see the footage, I'm wearing shorts, and I never wear shorts when I announce, even though I have monster calves, but I never wear shorts, and everyone thought that was weird. And after the announcement, I had to go out back, put on my wrestling shoes, and I'm like going through the match in my head. When I get back in the ring, like Eric brings me in and he's like calling out the whole crowd. When I start to strip my announcing gear because my singlet's on underneath, Davey Ann's off to the side, and Davey Ann just goes like immediately. She's like, "What the fuck?" It was oh my god. That match is great.
One of my favorite Ethan Scott moments is the Rumble entrance, the Rumble entry. And the next entry in this Rumble is me.
I hate that I went. I hate that. That's the only part I hate is the me part. And when I smack myself in the head, I was such a weirdo back then. But like that spot was great.
I unironically go back and watch that spot sometimes because I love it so much.
It was fun, and I love just the reaction of everybody because just Owen Brody just grabs me and just throws me out, and you see there's calm in the Rumble for just a couple seconds as MSP, the Syndicate, and I think Calvin Strange is in there too, just all kind of look and they're like, that just fucking happened? Is he okay? And if you listen, you hear Alexander Lee go, "You just hurt my friend," and he headbutts.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing because it's even better that the fact that Alexander Lee just stood there and was like, "You just hurt my friend." What?
I landed ass first on the apron and I like bounced and I hit the floor. Because one of the fans like got the footage of me getting eliminated, sent it to me, and I died laughing. I'm like, I just hit the apron ass first.
One of my favorite Ethan Scott moments has to be the ultimate Ethan Scott.
Oh my god, that was that match was great. That match was so great. Like I couldn't not have been blessed more with like better people to be in that match with because like everybody in there like made sure I was taken care of and everything went smoothly. Like that stunner I did to Brett, I've only done 2 stunners. Once to Eric and once to Brett. And the Brett one like blows the first one out of the water because it was so smooth and like just quick and fluid. I love watching that clip because I'm like, that's the coolest thing I've ever done was that fucking stunner.
Sorry, I'm still trying to find. Like, I'm trying to remember what season of the road it was on. I'm going through each one. I'm like, where the fuck is it? I know it's
on YouTube. If you look up Eric Johnson versus Love Dog, I'm like the bonus at the very end. Because Love Dog was number 12. Funny enough, I'm number 13. I was in the first Let's Rumble. I'm also entrant number 13 because 13 is my lucky number, or it's guess unlucky because anytime it gets brought up in wrestling.
Maybe it's your lucky number outside of wrestling, but maybe you should avoid the number 13.
I was 13 when I got like the Tommy Dreamer shirt, and that's why I've always liked the number 13.
Or just make it your gimmick. Just have 13 all over yourself.
I wanted to get
all right there, Kaz.
Good God, the fucking I didn't have my goatee. My hair was wicked short.
This was
4
years ago.
Oh my God,
4 years ago.
My God.
The uncrowned Limitless.
So
I miss that better.
No, I'm actually sitting in the building right now. I'm sitting over by the table, like where Cora sat, with Dave Dyer.
I was in the middle of taking a shit, and I came back, and I was wondering why everybody's freaking out, and then I saw, oh my God, Ethan's in the ring!
I was in the middle of taking the most massive shit of my life, and then I came out, and Ethan was in the ring, and I was like,
I was wondering why everyone's popping. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And I look like, oh, Ethan's taking on Aaron Johnson. Holy shit!
He was like 5
Look at
minutes
Davey S reaction kills me every time.
5 minutes behind everyone else.
Like you'll see me in the corner soon, like I'm like, what the fuck?
You bitch son of a bitch! God damn it, this
There's Jess.
There's Jess. There's Tyree Taylor. Oh my God.
I haven't seen Tyree forever.
I still have that. Well, obviously I saw that singlet because I wore it during the tag.
Another good match. Fuck you, fat boy!
CJ Cruz in the background.
Yeah.
Dude, CJ was so into this match.
CJ, Alexander Lee, and Tyree Taylor, if you look at them, they're fucking hilarious.
You gotta make that.
There I'm in the corner, right there, like, oh, this is happening.
I want that as my sub sound on Twitch. Fuck you, fat boy!
Oh, no.
Ethan Scott just dropped with that clothesline.
Oh, that Eric Larry down the corner sucks.
I don't know. That one seemed nice. I've seen it. I've felt it suck before. That one seemed a little nice.
It can suck.
I was terrified to take this at first, but then once it got explained,
yeah.
Yeah, I think I explained it to you. I was like, if I've taken it.
It's no different than taking a power slam. He just sits out with it.
And yeah, it's over.
Wow. Fun fact, everybody probably didn't know, probably didn't watch this. I'm the only one that's ever kicked out of that. I kicked out of it in the
Deserted Dojo?
Yeah, Deserted Dojo match.
Nice.
You're sure you're the only person that's ever kicked out of it?
Well, that's why I'm the only person that ever kicked out of it, because nobody fucking knows about that match.
that match was wild.
That match was wild.
When he got you up for it, I was scared because I'm like, that's a lot of Big Cat up in the air on Eric's shoulders and drops.
Dude, I love when
the
you
Dominator
Eric.
Or the
oh yeah, the Dominator. Oh my God, the
Dominator. I love when you wrestle Eric for that exact reason, because you guys go like big man, but then there's always that one spot where he lifts you, like the crown. You guys stole the crown show and you were opening fucking match. The crown match, when you were up on the buckle and he fucking walked over and grabbed you and walked out with the Dominator, the whole locker room erupted because you got dropped so nicely with the Dominator. We were all like, what the fuck?
Was that the show we took on Hyper Pretend?
Yeah, that was the first crown, my first and only crown show.
Yeah, that match was still so fucking funny. Yeah, like I didn't know how great it was until I came out back where you guys talking about it. Like I felt it was doing good, but like how everyone in the locker room was on their feet, like going like, "Oh shit, that was fucking awesome!" Dude, Eric coming back through the curtain goes, "Follow that, bitches!"
He literally did. He walked back and he was like, "Follow that, bitches!" And they just walked over and started taking his shit off, and we were all like, fuck.
I've always said it this way: if you can go back into the locker room after your match and the boys are looking at you going, either you're fucking insane or that was fucking great, you did something good. In fact, Levi and I can attest to this. The entire New York crew looked at us and went, "You guys are fucking idiots."
No,
that
it
was
wasn't
awesome.
just the New York crew. It was everybody. We took the concrete suplex and walked out back, and fucking everybody that walked over to us was like, "You are fucking insane." But that was cool.
The Let's match with the
Yes,
you and
that
you
was
and
cool.
yeah,
Oh my God.
that was
Our
fucking stupid.
Our first
I
match.
looked at you guys and said that was fucking
Our
stupid.
first match, by the time we got back, everybody that walked by us looked at us and was like, "That was fucking stupid," but that was cool. And then just left. Randy was even like, that match was real. That match was good. Minus the concrete suplex, there was no fucking reason for that. He was like, but it was so cool.
That was Amber and Jossie. That was their call.
Oh,
You
yeah,
and I were like,
if you've never seen this,
I think I have seen this.
Is the worst bump you have ever seen and the worst bump that you have ever taken?
I just want to say that comment. Fuck you.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
go ahead, Barry.
Worst bump I've ever seen was a fella. Some of you guys may have met him before he moved away. He had moved off before I came back, but we started out here together. A kid named Shane Marvel. Really early on. Tall, skinny kid. Because he was tall, skinny kid, and not. He was good, but only in some respects. You know, like he was reliable. He moved well, but every once in a while you'd see him do something. You just go, "Oh, don't do that. Why would you?" Ooh. So we were in a 6. Or I wasn't even in the match. That's right. Wow. I was watching backstage on a monitor. It was early, one of the earliest times I ever had a monitor backstage. This is early 2009 EWA show in Western Mass. And there's a tag match going on, and it's a 6-person tag. It's Shane Marvel, a girl wrestler who's long gone, whose gimmick name I don't recall, and Kevin Landry, who, if you ever met or saw Kevin Landry, he's 1,000,000 pounds of just steroid giganticness. He was my head trainer. Allegedly my head trainer. He owned the school. But it was those 3 against 3 other people. It's irrelevant who else was on the team. We all watched Shane Marvel go to the second rope and leap off to miss a leg drop. And on his way down, he got scared, and his arms both straight down to brace for the fall. Right before he went out, he asked me, as I was putting on some wrist tape, he said, "Does that actually give your wrists any support?" And I said, "No. It's aesthetic, man. It's a look. It doesn't do anything for you. Not unless you put like 10 layers of it, and even then." And he goes, "Oh, okay," and just walks away. Stuck both his hands down. And immediately we all knew something was wrong, but we couldn't tell what. And he's laying on his back with both of his arms kind of like this, T-Rexing. And he squirms on his back to his team and then kind of freezes looking at his hands and then reaches one up. And we all at that point go, oh, he broke his wrist. We didn't realize he had broken both of his wrists.
Jesus.
He reached one out, whichever one seemed less broken to him, I guess. And Kevin, the giant muscle dude, puts his arm up in the air to make the tag, big exaggerated tag, and then looks down and sees it and freezes. And the girl sees him freeze and goes, whack, and tags herself in. And then he disappears off the screen. And we're all sitting in the locker room going, where'd he go? Oh, this, yeah, I was going to say, this may be on my YouTube. Yeah, this is on my YouTube. I forgot.
Oh, no.
Ready?
Oh, no.
There it
was. I hate it.
Yep. Nope, not good.
Oh, good.
Yep,
Another angle of it. That's even better. This is why we don't put our hands down.
Oh, this is why we don't reach kids.
Ow.
Oh, you fucking
slapped him.
Oh.
Dang.
So Yeah. What happens right after that you don't see is we're all in the locker room and he has disappeared off the camera and we're going, where'd he go? Did anyone see where he went? And at the locker room door, we start hearing this like jingling, jangling, thunking noise. What the hell is going? We go over. We had to open the door because he couldn't open the door because he couldn't grip anything or move any fingers. It was just terrible. His car sat at the venue for a month because he couldn't go back and drive it. He was in casts that immobilized his arms from the elbow to the thumb. Yeah, so that's probably the worst bump I've ever seen in person. The worst bump I ever took, some of you were probably present for it. It was during the Road tapings, Road Season 2 tapings.
Okay.
While the world was shut down for Limitless. The match was me and Rip Bison. For those who were there for the tapings, there was like, I think 80-something matches filmed in those 2 days.
Yeah, it was a
crazy amount.
Yeah, we had been there the whole day before, filmed all day, been working all day, went back, crashed at Danger Kid's house and got, I don't know, 3 hours of sleep probably. Woke up the next morning, straight to the venue, and Randy tells me and Rip that we are on first. So at 9:30 in the morning, he and I go to wrestle, and I went for a tope con hilo on Rip, and he was not really there to catch me. He was, I don't know what kind of ups he thought I had all of a sudden, but if anyone knows my abilities in the ring, it's Rip Bison. Suddenly he thought I was Sami Zayn because he was way too far out. And he goes to scooch in underneath me for the catch and more or less gave me a, 8 or 9 foot power bomb on the bare floor. At 9:30 in the morning after 3 hours of sleep, having wrestled 3 times the day before, and those being my only 3 matches in 7 months because the world had been shut down. So, your bump callus is gone. I had put on a bunch of muscle during shutdown because I had nothing else to do. So I was a bit heavier than I had been. And man, if you think of the sound you would imagine that's a combination smack and thud of a 230-pound slab of chicken breast falling off of the counter and whacking the floor. That's the sound I heard in my head.
Oh, good. Oh,
yeah. That's a rough 9:30 in the morning. I hadn't had coffee yet.
Oh, that's even worse.
The camera doesn't even do the sound justice because you could still hear you slap the floor.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
The worst part of that clip is my hair. It's in a terrible in-between state from when I had short hair to when I let it go again. It got this weird mop top on my head. It looked like just terrible.
When it comes to, I do have to admit though, when it comes to like bad sounds of meat slapping floors, Levi and I can attest to something like that when MSP gave us the suplexes on the concrete.
The concrete bump was was definitely a.
Have you seen that, Perry?
I have.
Yeah.
I think it was Johnny Torres showed me that clip.
I was gonna say, I feel like at this point everybody has
specifically told me to make sure my sound was on.
Oh yeah.
I have a weird tangent that I wanted to go on tonight.
Go for it.
I like tangents.
What so I feel like and it's because I'm constantly watching wrestling stuff and but I feel like we've never, and maybe we have, and I just don't remember because I tend to get drunk on these pods because it's the only way I deal with you fuckers. But what is the PURR Sessions Mount Rushmore?
What do you mean?
Like what is our collective Mount Rushmore? If we as a collective had to choose 4 or 5, how many faces are on Mount Rushmore?
4.
So if we as a collective had to choose 4 to go on the PURR Sessions Mount Rushmore, who
God.
do we volunteer? Because I feel like this is one of those questions. Like, I purposely left it out of the Levi Spade interview segment because it's such a fucking it's a question that gets asked on every single goddamn wrestling podcast. But I feel like we have never actually talked about it.
So again, what do you mean by wrestlers that we believe that are like the best of all time?
Or your Mount Rushmore. What is it? But can we? I wonder if we can come to some sort of collective to make the PURR Sessions Mount Rushmore. Like if we collectively had to choose 4, who would we nominate? Why? And who do we put on the Mount Rushmore?
Well, Austin's first.
Hang on. Is this strictly opinion based, like per each of us, or is it just if we say a name, someone could just be like, "You're wrong"?
Well, I think it's a conversation. I want to see if we can come up with 4 that we mutually can all agree go on the Rushmore. Because I hate another reason why I hate this question is because for me there are like 16,000 different Mount Rushmores. Right. Yeah, you want Mount Rushmore WWE.
I think the question should be, what is each one of our own personal Mount Rushmores, and then see if there's any comparisons.
Okay, so let's
Mine
do.
would be way
Let's,
different than like Andy's.
so let's do that. Let's decide on what is everybody's Mount Rushmore, and then maybe we can take, because there's 4 of us, so there we go. We could take 1 from each of us, and then make the PURR Sessions Mount Rushmore.
So here's the funny thing too, like JP said, it's like, so when it comes to your Mount Rushmore, like for me, there's like a singles Mount Rushmore, and then there's a tag Mount Rushmore, and that's so you got both these things together. But if I gotta go singles, I gotta agree with Big Cat, Austin.
He's been like the number 1. He's literally the GOAT of wrestling.
So I feel like right off the bat we can toss Austin on the PURR Sessions Mount Rushmore because I agree with that. He's got spot on mine.
Yeah, he's literally changed the business, and he basically made WWE what it is.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Yep, I would agree with that.
I got to go with the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
I can agree with that.
And
I have a tangent about Ric Flair. I don't know if you pulled that up.
This is my personal one, and I got to go Sting.
Okay.
Yeah,
those would be my
WCW. Yeah, I can understand that one. Well, I mean, Austin, I agree with. All time, it would be Sean. I'm just trying to think of people who changed the business.
You could also throw Undertaker up there. You
Taker
could also
is
throw
a big
CM
one
Punk up there. You could also throw Bret Hart up there. If you want to go older, Harley Race, Nick Bockwinkel. I mean,
Harley Race definitely would be like, because again, like even Jerry Lawler, fucking
Fear the King Lawler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think an easier way to answer that question is take 4 eras, because realistically, if you look at it, you have about 4 distinctive eras in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You have the golden era, you have the attitude era, you have the ruthless aggression era, you have whatever the hell era between that and now. Like that's very questionable.
The
But
PG era tends to be what everybody calls it.
You could take one name from the 4 of those, and I think collectively all of us could agree on that one Mount Rushmore.
But then we got, then you got like, we all watched WCW and WWE back in the day. Well, what about like New Japan? What about TNA? What about,
See, this is why I want to have the conversation.
Yeah. Like if I made Mount Rushmore, it'd be an indie Mount Rushmore, and to be honest, it might be like a more deathmatch themed Mount Rushmore.
Well, the problem with me is like I don't know too much about TNA and New Japan. Like definitely not a lot of New Japan, but I know definitely there's a lot of guys that made that business that I just don't know 100%. But if we're talking like WWE wise, it definitely Austin would be number 1 for me. I like maybe because I'm biased because I'm a fan of it with Punk, but the only reason why I say Punk is because how many guys have you known in the business that when left still got chanted to come back?
Yeah.
Like 6+ years they were still chanting for him to come back. Like that's unheard of. I think he even cut a promo, or somebody did, was saying, like, once you're gone, like you're just forgotten.
The fans
continue on
in their mouth just as much as, you know, people take those jabs between AEW and WWE.
Right. And it might have been more of the situation of what happened with Punk. Maybe that's why it continued on with the fans. But
it was more way before that, though.
Yeah.
It was so much more before.
That is true, yeah. So I would do that, and then like it's hard because Ric Flair definitely had like a bunch of, you know, change of the business.
He's
Fuck
Ric
Hulk
Flair,
Hogan.
you know?
Fuck Hulk Hogan. I don't give a shit what you say.
I mean, the worst part is, yes, our personal opinions on Hogan, especially like the modern Hogan, fuck the guy. But if you want to go business changer, Hogan is one of those guys that changed the business.
That is true.
I mean,
this is why
changed the business for
what I
himself,
mean.
though.
You gotta look at it from a wrestling perspective.
This is what I mean. This is why I don't like this question, but I wanted to pose it tonight because, like, I agree with JP. Like, I love hardcore wrestling too. I don't do it, but I love deathmatch wrestling too. Like Cactus Jack, Terry Funk, Onita. And probably, honestly, if I had to do more of a newer gen, Tremon, like you have to put Tremon on it if you're gonna do a newer gen. But then you got Nick Gage, New Jack.
So like in my sense,
John Moxley,
literally, it would be if it was an all around in that scenario, I would have it really as Mick Foley, New Jack, Nick Gage, and Tremont. That would be my Mount Rushmore.
See, I would switch. Onita's probably the only one I would switch out.
The
only reason I would have to have Onita on there is because Onita kind of revolutionized the hardcore. As fucking crazy as he was, he revolutionized it. But if I had to switch Onita out, it would be New Jack. So it would be Cactus, New Jack, Terry.
New Jack was more of the New Jack was the definition of you could be a technical wrestler and have a hardcore match, but still make it look like a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Whereas, like with Onita, it was like, I'm going to hit you with this explosive, and everyone's going to die.
Yep.
So, like, that's a perfect like wide range there between like the two, but they all both come together and they all share the same similar style of wrestling.
Yeah, but see, so like for mine, if I had to go with business changers, Austin is definitely up there. So I feel like Austin's the only one that we all simultaneously agree on. But like for me, the Great Muda. I mean, I feel like I feel like my you said Sting, I say Muda. Kind of the same. They're kind of the same.
I immediately think of Sasuke in his suit after you said Muda.
So like Austin, Muda,
Sasuke, yeah.
Masawa.
Yeah.
Masawa has to be up there. I'm sorry, but that dude lived and died for the business, and that dude was the most over person I have ever fucking seen. Like, I've seen clips of every person under the sun. Masawa is so fucking over, it is ridiculous. Like, I would put Masawa on my Mount Rushmore because he revolutionized Japanese wrestling, and I don't know, the last spot for me would probably, like, if I had to take a new generation, I feel like I'm biased kind of like you are with Punk Cat. If I had to take a newer generation, I'd put Balor on that list. Because Balor is a multi-time champ all across the fucking world. That man, like, he was part of the revolution that made it so guys like me could perform in the business. But then at the same, you could also put Bryan in place of Balor, because Bryan was the be-all, end-all of guys my size that revolutionized the business.
Freaking yes movement, man.
Yeah, so it's like, but like for me, Austin, Masawa, Muda, and I mean any of those guys, if I had to settle on one, I would say Bray, because
respect.
Kind of like how you were just saying with New Jack, but Bray was the definition of you could play and you could work such an outlandish gimmick.
It was character,
but still be one of the best actual in-ring workers that the company had at the time.
Bray had the character and then backed it up with the wrestling. New Jack had the hardcore extreme persona, but had the wrestling to back
Exactly.
it up.
Yeah.
All those people that you can take with that all had that wrestling background. Like, and then Brian, he had that, oh, you don't look like a wrestler perspective, and then
But he could out wrestle anybody.
Out-wrestle
And it was kind of the same way with I mean, not to give
He
Dylan
was more
not to give Dylan a hard on, but it's kind of the same way with Taz.
Yeah.
Like that's why like nobody wanted to take the chance on Taz until Heyman reinvented him, because Taz was like, oh yeah, they don't want me because I'm 4'7" and I'm 200.
He was
plus
5'5",
pounds,
5'6".
Yeah, but like
speaking of that,
honestly, I meant to say 5'7", but I said 4'7". But
speaking of that too,
I'm 5'6", but I'm 200 something pounds. I don't look like a wrestler. And Heyman's, okay, but what can you do? And so I could fucking choke out anybody in your locker room because I'm a legitimate fucking he's a legitimate fucking threat. And
like I could throw a motherfucker.
And Heyman's like, cool, that's what you do. It's kind of the same way with Joe. Like Joe, Joe don't look like a wrestler. Joe's the same kind of. Joe is kind of the modern day Taz was the modern day Taz in my opinion. Like, Joe, what can you do? I fucking knocked out.
Muscle buster.
But you're talking about like small guys, and that remind me. I can't believe I didn't think of this. Fucking Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guerrero.
Yeah. Fucking definitely up there.
I feel like Guerrero. I feel like Guerrero gets a lot of credit, but I don't know. I love Eddie Guerrero. He's awesome, but I feel like he, in some people's opinions, and I've heard it before, he's the first small guy to ever wrestle. Like he was the start of the small guy movement, and I'm like, Eddie was not that small.
He made himself look bigger than obviously like he was.
He got jacked up, but he was only 5'6".
Yeah.
But like at that point, you had already had guys like Mysterio, and I mean, we were just talking about Mysterio Senior. Like at that point, you had already had guys that were smaller. You had guys that were on the smaller side.
Right.
Yeah, but did they, put an impact in like Eddie Guerrero did? Like,
I mean, Rey Mysterio still to this day is going. So yeah.
Yeah, but would you put Rey Mysterio on that Mount Rushmore?
Depends on what Mount Rushmore. I wouldn't put him on my main Mount Rushmore, but he definitely would go on. If I had to make a Mount Rushmore of small guys, yeah. It'd be Mysterio, Tiger Mask, Guerrero, and probably Brian. That would be my Rushmore of small guys, like guys my size. Those
I didn't see Finn on there.
No, because that's the thing is I would 100% switch Brian for Finn, but Brian I feel like got his break sooner than Finn did. And because of it, more people associate Brian with the small guy revolution. Because I personally, I put Balor on there, but that's also because I am a wrestling nerd and have looked at all of what Balor has done in his career, because he's one of my biggest inspirations. So I would put Balor on there because Balor formed the Bullet Club. Balor revolutionized Japanese wrestling in the sense that when he came over to the States, more eyes went back over to watch Japanese wrestling because of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, that's true.
But then like Styles is another one that you could put on there. Styles' time in TNA and ROH are still talked about to this day as some of the greatest. Punk, you could put Punk on there. But I feel like Brian got his break sooner, so Brian became the face of the small guy movement. I would do Tiger, Ray, Eddie, and Finn. That would be my Rushmore of small wrestlers.
Hold on, I got Levi. Is that ice cream, Easy Mac, or soup?
Easy Mac. Got it. Easy Mac. Why is it so watery? Why is it so watery?
Why is it so watery?
It's noodles and a cheese, bro.
Is it macaroni and cheese soup? What is that?
Ethan said it best. It's noodles and a cheese broth.
You might as well stick a damn straw in it. I'm offended, sir. I'm offended.
You put Kraft cheese.
How the hell dare you ruin good macaroni? Not even good. You ruin the name of macaroni and cheese with your soupy disgrace. This is absolutely uncalled for. And I'm not done because this is absolutely uncalled for.
This has to be.
Welcome to the show, Ethan.
This has to be.
On the side, I have to fucking click it.
That has to be clipped, and then has to be on all forms of social media. Like that bit was just the hot take thing cuts him off. I'm not fucking done.
I'm not finished.
And short at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Samuel Matthews rants about soupy macaroni and cheese.
Fuck. Speaking of watching wrestling at work, I watched probably one of the worst matches I've ever seen today.
You watched my match?
I was about to say the same thing.
It was actually JP's match, actually.
Wow.
The match.
I'm kidding.
Don't let him
Me
shit
versus
talk.
Jaeger?
Just go back. Don't let him shit talk. Just go back and watch his first match with was it Aggro? Hang on.
My first match was with
JP.
Ben.
We don't talk about my first match.
There's a specific me too. There's a specific match.
Do I dare?
See, mine is with Jaeger, and I begged fucking Randy
So-
make sure that doesn't see the face of fucking Earth.
Oh,
Like,
No,
that was so bad. That match was so bad.
The match I'm talking about is Abyss versus Black Rain, Relic, and Shark Boy in a barbed wire Christmas tree match.
Shark Boy.
Ooh,
That sounds.
does sound terrible.
That sounds terrible.
It kind of sounds
There's a lot
entertaining, though.
of good hardcore
It was-
Abyss matches.
It was awful in a fun way. Like
Yeah,
it
it
was
kind of
like-
sounds entertaining though.
But
I
it was,
don't
it was
think-
bad.
I can't remember the match, but I don't think anything will pass up one of the matches that Cousin Larry showed me, which was an old school. I want to say it was a Dr. Death match, but I may be wrong. I don't know. It's somebody Larry shits on, like an old somebody that
There's a
cannot.
long list there.
Yeah, no, but it's old. Somebody
An
that
hour?
can't. Larry, like he can't work. He deserves to get shit on. He never could work. But there's one specific match, and it's so fucking funny to watch. And also, yeah, Aiden Agro versus Dylan next at the student showcase.
That match was great. What the fuck are you talking about?
Aiden Agro versus Dylan next at the student showcase.
That's like Johnny Torres' favorite match of mine.
Yeah, that was a great match. What the fuck are you talking
Why is
about?
that Johnny Torres? That should not be Johnny Torres' favorite match of yours.
I think he's
Me
watching
versus
the wrong
Agro?
match.
That's
That
a great
match was a
match.
good
dude.
match.
That's actually one of my favorite matches.
I think he's watching the wrong match.
I think so. I mean, to be fair, I think I've only taken on Aggro singles once, maybe. So,
At least your first match wasn't with Primer.
throwing some
Where'd it
heat
go?
there towards you. Fucking. I want to know. I want to know why he thinks it's shit. Why do you think it's shit?
Hang on, I'm trying to find the. There's a. There's
If you were gonna say Jess versus Dylan next, I would agree with you on that one. But that's
that match was not that good.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's
I'm
on the
not
Limitless Wrestling page.
It is.
Somehow
it
it has
has
like
a-
100 and something thousand
I didn't-
views.
I didn't
it
know
has
it.
a gazillion views.
It's got
It's
7.9.
Okay, can I
Hey,
just
look, I'm
say-
in this match. I'm collecting your gear.
Oh my god, you were.
Yeah, this was my first Limitless show. I'm collecting
Oh
the
my
gear.
god.
The
Was
match
that me and
where
Jess
Nick's
versus
never
MSP or just me and Jess?
No. This was you and Jess versus Emma Spade.
You didn't sell at all in
Okay.
that match, right?
Look, there I am.
Wait, me and Jess?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think you sold in
I
that
did.
match.
I did, but like there's a couple spots that we had like planned out and they got messed up. So like we were still both pretty early in, and it wasn't our best match.
I think this was the first time I met you too.
Probably.
I don't remember the first time I met Dylan. I know
that was an interesting Bing Bang Boom.
IWE show.
Yeah, I just don't remember when.
We should do that one from time. We'll put up our worst matches that we have.
My worst is my first. Actually, Pete's close to.
My worst is probably.
Do we put the street fight somewhere in the same?
Oh my god, that street fight was so terrible. So fucking terrible.
I almost got paralyzed in that match. Thank you.
You were not almost paralyzed.
My bone was pushing against the bottom of my spine. Yes, I was. If that bone,
chiropractor.
If that bone had gone, no, I went to a doctor. If the bone had been pushed any further off that sidewalk slam,
no, that was the sidewalk.
No, that was the sidewalk slam that Lee shot on me. If that bone had gone any further off that sidewalk slam, it would have cracked the bottom. It would have broke the bottom of my spinal column.
You know what? The one thing, there's two things I remember about that match.
You picked me up and dropped me sideways on the pile of tables because you picked me up in the body slam for that spot, and I went, JP, don't you fucking dare. And you're like, okay. And you like, me on the side and then buried me in a bunch of chairs, and I just sat there on the table, and I was like, this is great.
This is nice. It's all nice and cold.
There's two things I remember about the match. One is when I threw the chair at JP, and he got so fucking mad at me.
My elbow. I thought you cracked my elbow.
Dude, you were looking at me with the chair. I'm like, okay, he's ready for this, and I chucked it at you. Apparently, you weren't ready for it.
You I swear you chipped a part
and
of.
I was being safe with it too, and I don't know how I fucking hit you.
Oh my god, no! It just I don't know what it was.
It must have been the leg or something like that.
That is the second most painful thing I ever felt. Like later on, hours later, the other
and
was
then
unrelated, but still. Oh my god, that hurt so much.
And then you want hurt so much of that? The fucking sign that you fuckers kept on slapping me with. That
Dude,
fucking hurt.
Primer cracked me right in the head with a fucking cookie sheet. Instead of going around and doing it safe, he just cracked me on the side of the head.
That was fine.
And then he picked me up and he was like, sorry. And I don't remember what I took the fucking Mountain Dew bottle off of Eric's merch table. He had like a Mountain Dew bottle or a Mountain Dew can, and I literally took the Mountain Dew can and I was like, yeah, sorry. Damn, and
that's fine because it has give. The fucking sign had no give. It was a fucking wooden sign.
Primer had a whole can of corn unopened with googly eyes on it. Do you know
that was corny?
Yeah, corny. I'm so glad I'm so glad I didn't get hit with that.
And the other thing I remember.
Hold
on, let me finish. The other thing I remember is when I dislocated my thumb, and I didn't realize it until I drove home. It was from the splash where you fucking rolled the wrong way. Ooh. So it fucking you did. I told you move, and when I went to do the splash, you rolled into me. So I fucking
I didn't know where to go. There was too much shit in the ring.
Ate shit.
Look.
Oh god, no! Oh god, no! Don't show the
boom.
Oh.
Ate shit to the floor, and after the match, after you were done whining about your fucking elbow, I'm like,
I love that
spot.
It's so beautiful.
I was like, my fucking thumb is killing me. Like, my hand is killing me. I wonder what is from. Like, oh, the splash when I fucking hit the floor.
Listen,
and I'm driving.
Intentionally getting hurt under me is not my fault.
I'm driving like this home with my hand up, and halfway through home, my hand pops. And I'm like, ah! And then I was like, oh, that feels better.
So, I think my two favorite. Well, okay, I had 3 favorite spots from the match because I actually forgot the Exploder. The Exploder is probably my favorite spot from the show.
I only like that. I only like that spot because Primer didn't do shit to that table, putting me through, or the door, putting me through it. Because you grabbed the same fucking door we
That's
used
what I was going to get at. I didn't know that it was the same table because it looked like
it looked brand new. Because
and
what happened is the chair just slipped out. Like it cracked a little, but the chair just slipped out, so I didn't go through it.
I rolled in and I looked under after I do my spot, and I go, "Oh look, the table's here, or the door's already here." And then we go at the end of the show, they're tearing down, and they go, "So you have this whole door left," and I was like, From where?
So that I gave Primer the claw with the bone hand claw, which is funny as shit. And I think it was Lee that threw me against the back wall at the end of the match. I went flying against the back wall, hit the back wall, fell on the table, but there's a pile of chairs on it, and the chairs all went and slid off with me on them. And all of a sudden, like, I fell off on 2 chairs, and like 5 more chairs fell on me. The visual is just hilarious.
There's so much chaos in that fucking match.
I love.
You hear Ben calling it, and I think he was gonna have a stroke.
Dude, the commentary was the best.
What's great about that match
He
is
was drunk too.
What's great about that match is if you watch it as a whole, it's garbage. If you only think about the spots that we had planned for it, it's fucking great.
The reason why is because all the stuff that wasn't spots lasted way too long.
Yeah, we spent.
We were like, oh, just
which
do
we
this.
all readily admit we spent way too long on the
You were filling way too much in the middle.
But spots that we actually did were great. Like the fucking the going through the table, the sword fight that me and Lee had, the body slam on the table, the basketball hoop, the fucking exploder, the 3D onto the bed of sporks, the demolition.
I forgot that spot.
Everything.
The reason why we can't go to that building anymore.
Everything that we did that we planned was awesome. It was everything in between that sucked.
I'm glad we didn't do that cannonball spot that we were going to do. They would have been really pissed.
What were we gonna do?
You were gonna move, and I was gonna go eat through the chairs with the cannonball.
Should have fucking done it.
I'll never forget breaking the kendo stick over Lee's back.
Just
because I was shoot pissed because I knew that I was fucked up and I was shoot pissed. So I broke the fucking kendo stick over his back. My mom told me on the drive home that night, she was like, I thought you were gonna fucking kill him. She's like, I could tell.
I was trying to.
Yeah, she was like, I could tell that something was wrong. I was like, no, I'm a professional. I just hit him as hard as physically possible with the kendo stick, snapped it, and then launched it across the fucking floor and almost hit a fan because I haphazardly launched it, and I was like, I started walking the other side of the ring, and I was like, shit, I don't think I hit that person. I really hope I didn't hit that person.
Dude, my favorite spot, like one of my favorites ones that you can't see because it was off camera because there's such fucking clusterfuck going on, was like I took a cutter on the floor from fucking Primer.
You
but
hear
we were off camera
and call it too.
Yeah, we were off camera, and probably one of the best cutters I took on the floor, and it fucking sucked. But it's like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make it look nice. And like watching it back, you just see me walking off camera and taking it. I'm like, you fucking stupid fuck. You should have been at least.
Listen, Paul did his best with 6 dudes.
No, like Paul was. You could see Paul being pissed because he's like,
when the hell?
You can see,
like,
every time he looks one way, another one of us is doing something like more epic. You know.
When the hell did you take a cutter on the floor?
It was towards the end.
You didn't see it.
It was towards the end where you ate through the chairs. You didn't see it because it was off camera. But
that's right, because JP pile drived me and Dylan ate the wall and you ate.
And I ate the cutter. Yeah,
that's right.
This is how it's called by Ben. Pile driver on the chairs.
Hey,
holy fucking shit! He's so drunk, dude.
Hey, Big Cat, you wanna love me now? Did you ever actually watch my edit of the video?
If it's your edit, it must be my edit.
No, it's my edit.
Oh, hey.
There's your cutter on the floor.
Yeah, there you go.
From your mom.
I love how you know what I realized?
I think this is one of the cameras. I think this is one because my mom had 2 cams going that day.
I
think this is one of them.
I had the axe in my hand.
Yeah, and the foam fake axe, and you took it and tried it. Yeah.
Because it was just an offensive tactic to get you like
the thing was it was a flimsy axe too, so you started doing it and I literally like grabbed it to sell it, but in actuality I was just holding it stiff so it looked like it was doing something.
If you had a gig, it would have been
I would have. If we could have gotten color, I would have done it.
Because
didn't Randy tell us no on color?
Yeah.
Yes. because we wanted color, and he said no.
They didn't want us to go out in the crowd the way we did because they were just like, because this was like a very non-wrestling crowd because of the fundraiser.
Yeah, we
still went all over the place, terrifying the shit out of people. Look at that,
Nothing happened. You just sat.
Oh no,
flat.
nothing.
We didn't
Look.
go through the chairs.
Yeah.
My body should have went through all those chairs, and they didn't.
No, the close up one is so much worse.
Like I should have went through those chairs, and then I'm like, "Are you
I love
me?"
what my favorite part is that when I land, and
I start separating the chairs.
chairs started to break away, so there was nothing there. So I just
Because I knew he wasn't going to count the pin. I was like, "Oh, we gotta move these chairs."
Yeah.
Greenleaf, you could tell half that match is like, what are you idiots doing?
I gotta buy me those chairs.
The far shot makes it look devastating. It's the close up that's a little.
I feel like the whole theme of this entire match pretty much like came about by just begging and pleading for a group of autistic kids to just go around and just fuck around each other. Let out all of our emotional trauma, and we just did it inside of a wrestling match.
Is that what we were supposed to do in that match? Because man, I think we need to run something back real quick because I didn't do half of that.
I still remember like we're calling shit. Well, this is this fucking street fight.
we got like 3 spots in, and then somebody
just
was
beat
like,
each other with shit. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It was this one.
Exactly.
This
It's that one right fucking down there. Down there.
Because Colin, we're just gonna hit each other's shit. And Primer goes, yeah, that sounds good. And Lee's like, yeah. What it is.
See that our Impulse debut was a year ago, like 3 days ago or some shit.
Yeah, for the Autumn Moon Festival. Was that it? Yeah,
I think
that was
that's what it was
cool.
called.
That was a good show. That was fun.
Do you
Where
have
we
the
showed
map?
up.
No, Monty's the only one that had footage of it, and he never sent it to me or uploaded it anywhere from what I found.
Monty. Was that show not recorded? No, Obro never recorded the show. That's right.
No,
Yeah.
Monty was the only person with the footage to that.
That was So funny story about that show. So Levi and I are driving down, and it's only supposed to be like I think it's supposed to be a 5-hour drive, and there was an accident every 30 freaking feet. I'm not even kidding. Like literally, I'm watching my GPS go red and adding time on every time. Like seriously, red time.
Like we were like us driving.
Worse. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, we're never gonna get there." The worst part is I had my laptop, so I was supposed to be running sound. And we left with plenty of time, but we hit so much traffic. We get there, I sit down, I flip my laptop open. Luckily, I had most everyone's music set. The only person I didn't have was Kennedy. I feel bad for her, but I gave her a Ghost song, and she was perfectly happy with that. And so I think it was Obro's mom was running the music while we were in the ring, and she goes to play the music for the neighborhood, and their music doesn't play. It doesn't play. Levi and I are already in the ring. So we're just sitting there like, shit, what do we do? And I look at the ring announcer, I'm like, give me the mic. So I grab the mic from him, and I just start cutting like a classic like shit heel promo about how this town sucks, how the traffic getting here sucked. This place is awful. We hate it. The crowd was like about to kill me. Then the neighborhood's music hit. We had a pretty fun match. So
that's dope.
That was the birth of mayhem.
Yeah.
Because we were so fucking tired.
Yeah. Driving home, there's a car that said plate said mayhem, and I'm like, mayhem. And Levi goes, so fuck.
Speaking of driving home,
for some reason.
Speaking of driving home, fucking, I'm driving. I'm wide awake because like I'm hot because I'm waiting for to get paid, and two, like I'm just fucking doing the shit. Fucking Nix is next to me, and he's doing everything he can to fucking stay awake. I'm like popping up videos for him to watch, fucking TikToks, and he's just dozing here.
I was struggling. I really tried, man. I did really try.
I just looked at him like, buddy, you could just go to sleep if you need to. It's fine. It's really fine. He goes, you sure? I'm like, yeah, buddy, just take a nap. He goes, okay. Like immediately out.
I was already probably half asleep when you said that. My brain went, cool, off.
That's how I used to be. When we take rides, I'd keep myself awake till I literally couldn't. Like, I can't count the amount of times on car rides home that the next thing I knew we're like 45 minutes further than we were when I last opened my eyes, because I would stay awake and do whatever I could all the way up until I literally couldn't. And then I would close my eyes and then open my eyes again, but it'd have been like 45 minutes. So, it was always towards the back stretch where we'd get almost to the bridge coming out of New Hampshire, and then I'd close my eyes and I'd reopen my eyes to us almost in Kennebunk, to you dropping me off, because I knew that stretch of road. So I'd be like, we'd go over the bridge and then I'd close my eyes, and I opened my eyes. It felt like like I blinked, and we were 45 minutes further down the road and almost at the Kennebunk drop off. And I was like, shit. It's like, fuck, I just went to sleep for 45 minutes.
My favorite one's the one where you drove home for part of from NCW for part of it. And I sat in the back seat and I dozed a bit, and freaking Maverick's in the front seat. Maverick's out like the instant he gets in the car.
That's right. Oh my god!
He got in the car.
I forgot I drove that. That's right, because both you jackasses fell asleep, and
he's a terrible fucking passenger.
I love Maverick, but man, he's out like a light once he's in the car.
I remember that. I figured out how your fucking radio worked. Just started skipping through songs, and there were epic rap battles, and then there was fucking Taylor Swift, and then there was fucking hard rock, and I was like, the fuck is this playlist?
It was just my music. I just had it on random. So.
We're driving back from Crown of Maine, and we're like, we're fucking tired, so we're in the back. Maverick's in the front seat. Eric, before we start, he goes, "You gotta stay awake this whole trip to make sure I stay awake." He goes, "Oh yeah, I got you." Immediately going down the road, we're fucking out,
dude.
I wake up to we're in Orono. And he goes, "Thanks, motherfuckers." Like everybody fell asleep on me, and we were just like we're in the back seat. We're allowed to fall asleep.
That trip was so unironically fun, but at the same time, oh my god, when I woke up from that, I think I bought 2 water bottles at that fucking gas station that we stopped to top off at, because Eric smokes cigars.
Yes.
And even though he had his window and shit open, everybody fell asleep. And when I woke up, I could fucking tell Eric had been chain smoking to keep himself awake because Maverick had fallen asleep. So I bought 2 fucking water bottles and chugged them both before we left that gas station, because my throat was on fire.
So
it was so dry.
What show was that? Was that the one I fought Eric for the? Yeah. But was that the one I fought?
No, that was the
tag team. That was when we fought Hyper Poutine and Cat fought Eric. Yeah. That was the round show that we got up there before you got up there, even though you left before us, and we stopped at Island Falls because the Island Falls show was the very next week. The one that we faced.
I think I had to stop and do something. That's why. I can't remember.
You were visiting family, I think is what you were doing.
Oh, that may have been it too.
Oh, maybe. It was because we left after you. We were farther south than you, and we stopped off in Island Falls, and we still made it to Crown before you did.
I wasn't worried about it. So crowds are already set up when we get there. So,
dude,
you gotta love Crown of Maine.
Yeah, Eric, like seriously, like a fucking big ass cigar, and he'll just sit there and smoke it, and then once that's done, he goes, "Okay," and grabs another one.
Maverick passed out. And Eric was giving us all shit, and me and Kat were like, dude, we were in the back seat. We're allowed to fucking sleep.
That's part of the rules, man.
Maverick took the fucking front seat. That's on Maverick to stay awake. We're allowed to sleep. Don't fucking bitch at us for it.
Right? Remember the struggle I had to put the fucking seatbelt on in that car? I'm just fiddling like Levi, like what? He's like, I'm like, help! Like I can't do this. It's like, geez, you're that fat. I'm like, no, these belts are fucking so small. So literally, he had to
if you've ever seen the picture, there's a picture of me and Kat, because that was also the show that JP and Maverick faced off in a hardcore match. So there's a picture of me and Kat in a car, and we're both flipping the camera off, but we're like this, and there's a pile of shit in between us. And there's like a guitar and like a bunch of suitcases because we packed shit full. but me and Cat had about this much square footage apiece in the back seat. So Cat was like, "Can't get the seatbelts."
Can't. And then like every single time I get close and fucking lock, and then Eric's like, "Do you need an extender?" I'm like, "Yes, thank you." He hands it to me. Doesn't fucking fit.
Work.
It didn't fucking fit.
You sat there trying to get the extender to clip in, and I didn't clip in, so you were like, "Fuck it," and you just threw it on the floor, and then started working on your seatbelt again.
It was funny. Like we stopped. He's like, "Does anyone need to pee?" I'm like, "Dude, I cannot get out because I will not be able to get back in this fucking car."
Dude, I love that the podcast has evolved and us just telling your own stories now. So,
oh, they're fun.
Oh my god,
I can't wait to do a fucking go with Dad. Like do some shit with Dad.
Oh my god, Ben's road stories are. Oh my god, I don't. Did I ever tell you? I told you guys the monster story, but I don't think I've ever told it on air. And so I'm going down to NCW with Ben, and we're cruising down. It's just me and him in the car, right? I just bought a monster. I think it was a Monster Gold. I can't remember what type. I told you guys the story. I know I've told you guys, but yes, but it's a great story. So we're going. Ben just bought this car. It's not brand new, but it's a Nissan Sentra. It's a nice car. He just got it like 3 days before. I think he just put everything on it. We're cruising down, and this car cuts us off. And I mean by this much cuts us off, like 3-4 inches. Ben goes nuclear in about 3 seconds. He's like, "God damn it, fuck!" It's like swearing up, down, left, right, center. He looks down, he sees my boss. He's like, "I'll buy you a new one." He grabs it. We fly by this car. And he whips it out the window back at them. He missed by a country mile, but it was more of a symbolic thing. And I'm like, I'm in the passenger seat crying because I'm laughing so hard because it's a Ben rant. And I'm like sitting there going, "Dude, what the hell?" He's like, "What are they gonna do? Call the police? What? 2 bald guys with beards? We look like 3/4 of the state."
Oh, there's some road stories.
I was laughing so damn hard.
There's some road stories too that I wish we could tell, but we can't because of legal reasons. Like the one where you were driving home with Ben and you thought there was a cop.
Oh my god, yes. That was the same night we're driving home and an owl swooped over the hood of my car. And Ben and I are like, "The fuck was that?" It was big too.
Do you remember the gas station that we stopped at right after the NCW show, the one that was in that really fucking weird like intersection thing, and I was the one driving. Yeah. So I was like, "How the fuck do I get out of here?" But
out to the right.
that fucking gas station, do you remember how we thought it was gonna get robbed? Because of that dude. Yeah. Like there was some dude definitely on something. But this dude, like the gas station attendant, like was yelling at him to get out of the store. Then he left the store, but he like went around the back of the store. And me, Maverick, and Dylan's gassing up, and me and Maverick walked inside, and me and Maverick both were kind of looking at each other. And I was like, "This is gonna get fucking robbed. This gas station's gonna get fucking robbed while we're right here at the show." Yeah. I was like, "This gas station's gonna get fucking robbed."
I was in New Hampshire fueling up. And I fucking went inside, paid. I came back out, and the woman next to me, somebody jumped into her car and took off with it.
I've been like,
yeah. Yeah.
I've stopped at some pretty sketchy gas stations.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they're oh my god. Actually, the worst road story I ever had, I had to ride home with Beavis once. And it was from a Skips show. And Randy's like, "Can you give Beavis a ride home?" And I'm like, "I guess." So we're going, and actually, I will give Beavis credit. I will give him credit on a couple situations. He gave me money for gas, and when we stopped for gas, he paid for my drinks. So you know what? That's cool. That's a good car ride guy. You know, not bad. The problem was he told me to take a right onto a back street to take the left to go up to the highway. When I took the right, I hit a fucking pothole, and when I hit this pothole, I blew a tire. At 11:30 at night on a Saturday. Oh my god,
I remember this.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the skip show that I came that I got dropped off? Yeah, isn't that the skip show that I got dropped off and Randy brought Beavis down, but I was going home with Randy? The only reason Randy had gone was to give me a ride because that was the skip show. That was the day before my going away party at the
So. Yeah.
Theater, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Because
it got
Randy
shut down
came
now.
down with Beavis.
Yeah.
To give him a ride, dropped Beavis off. I said hi and bye to everybody, and me and Randy took back off. And Randy was like, "Hey, Dylan, can you give Beavis a ride home? Because I'm gonna take Levi back. I'm gonna take Levi back because we didn't feel like sitting there and hanging out because I didn't have my gear, so there was really no reason because I was hurting at the time, so I was taking some time off to heal. So there was like no reason for us to sit around and hang out. And Randy had already had other shit going on, so he was like, "Yeah, you want to he was like, when you get here, just say your hi byes and we're gonna leave." And I was like, "Cool." And then I remember we got home and we were all chilling, and you texted the group chat about blowing a tire, and I was like,
Yeah. I was so
you took
mad.
Sam's car to the going away party the next day.
Yeah,
because your fucking car had a blown tire.
Dude, and I don't blame Beavis for this, but I'm just like, it was just a situation that it just happened with him in the car. And I'm like, so the worst part, I'm driving home, right? As I'm driving home, I'm sitting there like scrolling my phone. I'm looking for 24-hour tire places. I found one actually. There's a 24-hour tire place between Portland and Bangor. Fun fact, I don't remember what town it's in, but it's there. So I called them. And I was like, "Hey guys, you're open, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool. Do you have this tire?" I think I have it was a 225 5017. That's what's on my car. They're like, "No." I was like, "Son of a bitch." So I tried. So now what I want to do is put a full-size spare in my trunk.
You should.
Yeah.
I think
I got to put a fire extinguisher in my trunk because apparently everything catches on fire.
Apparently.
I think grind is probably I think one of the grind trips is probably one of my favorites. The one that I took, I think it was my first grind show that I took with Scrutch, Donkey, and Randy. I think I told the story when Scrutch was on the pod when I fell asleep and the piece of ice came flying off of the U-Haul truck and smashed into Randy's car, and it sounded like a gunshot. So it sprung me awake, and Scrutch literally looked so fucking scared because of the way I jumped up, and he was like, "We're good. Something hit the car. We're good." And he's like in the seat next to me, and he's like, "We're good." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
No, I didn't go back to sleep. Fuck that shit. Yeah. But then we got to Portland, found out we didn't have a hotel. So we didn't have a hotel because somebody didn't follow up with cousin Larry about hotel because he worked in Portland in the hotel business. So it's like midnight, almost 1 a.m. We have a show the next day.
Was it Roadblock?
That's why that's why I had rode with them to grind because there was a show the next day and my mom was going to it. So it was one of those situations where Randy picked me up. I went home, I went to them to grind, and then we all stayed at a hotel, grabbed some breakfast, and went to the Fairfield show. But so we finally find a hotel. We all get in. We're all tired as fuck. I slept in a chair that night. We're all tired as fuck. Randy kept fucking with Scrutch. And actually, if Scrutch ends up finding us, I don't think Scrutch knows. I don't think we ever told Scrutch who it was.
Oh, boy.
So Scrutch is trying to get ready for bed, take a shower, brush his teeth, do whatever he's doing. And every time he walked into the bathroom, Randy stood up, ran over to the door, grabbed the ironing board, and stuck it in the bathroom door. So every time Scrutch opened the door, it came flying in. It came flying into him. After like we're all sitting there, and every time Randy stood up, I'd look up from my phone and just watch him and start laughing. Finally after the fourth time, Scrutch opens the door, falls in on him. He picks the fucking thing up and wields it like a chair and goes, "I swear to fuck, stop putting this in front of the door or I'm gonna hit all of you." And puts it in the closet and fucking goes to bed.
See, he's a lot nicer than I would have been, because what I would have done is picked it up with one hand, opened the door to the hallway, went, and closed the door.
Yeah, exactly. Was that
Stop fucking putting it by the door.
Was that the same hotel that Donkey slept in the tub?
No.
Oh my god. I've done that at cons, to be fair. So we'll have 15 people in a room for convention, and we're all bed space, floor space, and I'm like, give me a couple pillows and a blanket. They're like, why? I'm like, I'm gonna sleep in the tub. So
no, Randy had one bed, and then I think Donkey and Ethan had the other bed because they were big ass beds, and then I slept on one of the chairs, like the like circle chairs that.
Oh, you didn't want to sleep with Randy?
Have. I just grabbed one of those chairs. I set it up so I could put my feet on the end of the bed, and then I don't even think I had a blanket. I'm pretty sure I took my jacket off and I just put my jacket over me, and I was like, fuck it. And I went to sleep for a couple hours.
I remember for an NCW show, it was me, Ben, and Jess. I rented a hotel room for us. And they're like, well, do you need a room with one bed or two? I'm like, well, 2 beds would be nice because, I'm sure Jess doesn't want to sleep between me and Ben. And we get there. It's got 2 nice like beds, 2 like full, and I'm like, Ben, you want a bed? He looks over. There's actually a full-size couch in the room too. He's like, I got the couch. Okay.
So fuck the bed.
Dude, he laid down and within 10 minutes he was snoring. Like he was like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, he's out. And the problem is I have a hard time sleeping in weird spots. So like I'll go and I'll be awake. I'm one of those guys. I'm awake, I'm asleep. So like literally I can hear Jess was out, Ben was out, and I'm sitting there going, I can't sleep. It's morning.
Oh, that sucks.
I'll never forget. It's not a road story, but I'll never forget the I want to say the 4 different times in my life that me and Kat have almost died driving in on snow-covered roads, staying at a hotel, and we've almost fucking died going to Burger King, right?
Oh yeah,
literally like the hotel's here and the Burger King is like here, so you literally you don't even have to pull out of the hotel parking lot. You just have to go around. But I didn't feel like getting redressed. I had my pajamas on, threw my boots on, stuck my pajamas in. And Kat's like, fuck it, we'll drive. And we walk out, and it had been snowing when we got there in the morning. And then it was snowing when we went to leave. So we got out there, and it's just covered. It's just a blanket, thick snow. So we clear off the car, and then we just slowly trek to Burger King in the car. And he goes to make a turn, and his car just goes, whoo! As we were turning into Burger King, and he was like, we almost just died.
Yep, been there, done that.
Or the times of driving, I turn the wheel and the car's not turning, it's just still going straight.
That whole drive home, because we got there at night because we came from a show. That was the day you brought me all the way back home because my Yaris is out of commission. So we went from your house after a show, and then we drove.
Yeah, because I had to do it overnight for work. Yeah,
because you had to do an overnight, but it was snowing the whole time. So on the highway, it's just us in the pitch black, and
oh my
all
God,
you see in front of us is snow, and it's just whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
Oh my God,
that. I think we're going like 20 the whole time.
Called us like an hour and a half later, and it was literally like we went whoom. And then you were back on our own, and then your wife called us, and you answered her, and you're like, we almost just fucking died.
So this reminds me of a show. So it was a Raph show, one of Raph's shows that he ran. I can't remember the initials for it, but the show started and what?
Pine State.
No, it wasn't Pine State. It was the one before that. So the show, it was like APW or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, the show starts. It was only my 6th or 7th match too. It wasn't very far into my career. And we're there, and the first thing I'm in is a battle royal. So we do the battle royal, we do all this stuff, right? And intermission hits. So we're all out back in intermission. We're all just sitting out back in the locker room shooting shit. And we come back out from intermission, like 3/4 of the crowd's gone. We're like, okay, the show hasn't been that bad so far. Ben opens the door and goes, ah, shit. I'm like, what? He's like, look. I opened the door. It snowed about 4 inches from the beginning of the show to when we got to the building. It was a beautiful blue sky. It was cool. It was like probably in the 40s, but it was a gorgeous day. It started snowing at the beginning of the show and just dumped snow the entire time we're in there. So we go, we finish the show. We load the truck because it's the dojo ring. We load the truck. Ben's driving the U-Haul up, right? Ben's like doing 100. He doesn't care. I'm in my car and I'm doing like 20. I'm just like, I can't see hide nor hair of anything on the highway. All I can see is 2 tire tracks. So I'm in the tire tracks going. That's also the show. I think that's the same one that Greenleaf went off the road in his car. So yeah, that was fun. That was almost as bad as the TIW story.
It always seems like Cat is the precipice for me, almost dying driving in snow.
Because I'm an unsafe worker.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
my first experience, I didn't even know you that well, but my first experience was when you were in that same hotel in Aurora, or wherever the fuck you were. And Auburn. I knew it started with an A. Wherever the fuck you were. And you were like, "Hey, you want to come do an interview on the podcast?" And I was like, fuck it. I've got today off. Fuck it. I'll go. So I got in my Yaris and I drove, but it had snowed and the roads were shit. So I got there pretty okay. And we did, we did the interview, and then I went to leave. And as I was leaving, there's a big fucking hill. So I took the Yaris down and there's a light at the end of it. And I went and the light turned yellow and my Yaris didn't stop because of all the slush. So I'm going down the hill and the light's yellow and my Yaris doesn't stop. So I went, fuck it. And I just hit the gas and my Yaris just went like this through the intersection on my way home because I was like, I got to get through somehow.
Pray for Mojo.
That's like probably the same hill that we were like almost at it's like, okay, the hotel is right there. We're almost there.
That's the
and
exact hill.
And the RAV was just
a year later. That's the exact hill. You started creeping down it. We had that same fucking problem where your RAV was just like, no.
Yeah,
actually, you don't got him.
Yeah, no, we're not stopping.
This reminds me of so I went to pick up. We were going to a skip show in Buxton, and it snowed the night before, but the roads hadn't quite been all plowed yet, right? It was still kind of snowing a little bit, so everything was still slick and slushy. You know the hill by Family Dollar in Brewer, the one that goes from Brewer to Bangor, right up that hill.
Yeah.
So I go and I'm in my car and I'm like, as long as I don't have to stop, I'm fine. I hit the red light and I dead stop. I'm like, crap. So I go to start picking up speed. I hit halfway up the hill and I'm just I can't. I'm not moving. So I have to take the right down the freaking one way, the opposite direction, go into Family Dollar, turn around, go back out and go back down, and I had to go the long way up around the dojo and everything to get around for Eric to come pick us up in his van. I was
since we're talking about weather-related things, shout out to everybody that loaded the steel cage in a fucking thunder and lightning storm.
Oh my god, yes.
That's one of my core memories, being like, oh, I'm gonna steel
was that
cage.
the Eric and BRG match?
Sure, fuck it. Oh no. This is before the steel cage got repaired. This is when the steel cage was transferred ownership to Larry, and it happened at a Fairfield show. And we were like, oh, we could do the steel cage. Not that we all want to do it after getting the ring loaded up, but we went, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. Until we opened the back doors to load the ring up, and it was pouring.
Yeah.
It was pissing rain.
The rain wasn't the issue.
No, we loaded the ring up. It was fine. Then the steel cage got brought around. I swear to fuck, as soon as the steel cage rounded the corner, as soon as the trailer rounded the corner, boom!
Yeah, first lightning.
Huge fucking crack of lightning. And we all looked and we were like, oh, great. And so then we had to transfer but I think it was like me, Jess, I think Hess was there, Blade was there, and Dylan
Guy's gonna ride the lightning tonight.
I was.
And we were all, I think JP and Maverick were both there too. And we were all like, oh, and Lee, of course. But we were all like, great, because as soon as we were touching all the giant pieces of fucking metal, the lightning and thunder decided it was gonna start.
I'm sitting there looking up. I'm like, did we anger the gods in some way?
Destroy this cage.
Between that and the Matt Muscle show that happened on my birthday. That wasn't thunder. That wasn't thunder and lightning, but that was when it was like pouring. I mean, probably one of the heaviest rainstorms we had gotten in like 3 years happened on my birthday 2 years ago at that Matt Muscle show. It was so fucking bad.
Was that the one where we were almost paralyzed? What's the name from the Mutts?
Yeah, because we weren't aware that his neck was that bad, and I gave him my fucking fireman carried neck breaker.
Yeah.
And luckily this happened to be one because he's such a tall dude. I did it and I didn't compensate for his height, so I actually hit him on like this in between the shoulder blades with it instead of on my hand, because when I hit it, I rest your neck in my hand. So I hit my hand on my leg and just roll you across. That's how I hit it. So it looks like I just drive your fucking neck in, but all you do is just hit my hand. But because he was so tall, I rested his neck in. But when I flipped him, he like over rotated, and I just hit him square in the shoulder blades. And then like 2 weeks later, we found out he retired because he went to the doctor and found out his neck was like one fucking bump away from being broke. And I was like, oh, good. So if I had hit him on the neck, there was a chance I could have snapped his fucking vertebrae.
Ugh.
It's a good thing I didn't hit him on the neck.
And that's one where Randy was also in a neck brace, and I hit him with a freaking Jossie's move there, the grab, smash him with the
Snapmare driver.
Thank you. Yeah, that into the stairs.
That was the one. That was the one that Drake. That was the one that Drake Lovecraft had the entrance for the fucking show and was 3.5 hours fucking late to the show.
Oh yeah, yeah. We were all supposed to show up at 4. He shows up at 7:30. We're
and
like,
the second half of the show got an entrance. So your match got an entrance. My match didn't.
Yeah, I didn't have a match on that show actually.
Yeah,
I did. That's right. I fought Dylan.
Yeah,
Dylan.
It was the Battle of the Dylans.
Dylan Scott. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
he was there.
It was
the
battle because Dylan Scott's from actually my area. He's from Texas, I believe, and he was up in the East Coast for some reason.
He's family. He has family up here.
Yeah, so he was at the show, but they didn't have a fucking match for him, and Dylan didn't have a match because we didn't have a tag match. So they were like, "Fuck it, Dylan and Dylan."
No, my idea. It was my idea.
Fuck it, Dylan, Dylan. Like we're working each other. Fuck it. But they're both like Dylan Scott's probably 2 feet taller than
he's not
Dylan
2 feet
is.
taller.
But,
he's about like 6 inches taller. I'll give him that.
But he's
taller
bald.
Yeah.
He's bald and cleanly shaven. It was literally like looking in a funhouse mirror. It was Dylan and then Dylan.
Yeah. And it was a fun match, and definitely get some notes out of it. He's a good worker, so I get some good notes out of that. So
I honestly haven't watched that match back in a while.
I haven't either, honestly. So
I think I remember kicking him in the face.
But
I used to do that when you'd have matches anyway.
I have to say, my favorite. I think that was the same show. Yeah, because it was a battle royal where you and I are in the ring, and Elle's partner. What is her name? Is it Spike or something like that? I can't think of her name. But she comes out of the curtain because she's next. You and I are out there. We're like, doing Seawolf stuff. She comes out. You and I look at each other and go, no.
We were in a corner. We were in a corner and we like tossed the guy we were working out. And then we just like sat in the corner and she hit the ring and we just both looked at each other and we were like everybody was feeding to her and we were like, no.
Get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure what day she said. I thought she said the 6th, but I'm not sure. Yeah, other than that, we're doing the live show sometime in September. Can't announce what guests we're gonna have for the show, but it's gonna be a big guest for PURR Sessions Live for that show. Hopefully, be promoting stuff this time. Not like last time.
I'm just saying, I can get into Boston by 12:30 a.m.
I love it how
or
he
12:30 12:30 noon. I can get into Boston
I
by
love
noon.
it how he's like, flight. We were talking about possibly doing a Sea Wolves bring back.
I'm just saying.
He's like, I can't do it. Flights are too expensive. Finds out what this guest is and is like, you want you? I can probably make a flight.
I'm talking about the MEW show, you fucker.
You're gonna make me pull out my purple gear again, aren't you?
I'm gonna be so fucking mad at you. I will be.
I'm just
so
saying,
angry with
MEW, I could get into Boston by noon. If you have somebody there that can get me,
I'll be so
back to Boston.
angry.
No, you don't even need to get me back to Boston in the morning. I mean, I'll take an early bird flight, but I can go back home and then just have somebody that I know bring me to Boston at like 5 a.m. But I'm just saying,
and it's not
I can get to Boston by fucking noontime if somebody can get me to Franklin.
I want to say there's someone coming up from that area.
Shut up.
I'm just
Shut
saying.
Up, Nick. I'll be so angry
I
with
don't
you.
know who you're facing, but I'm just saying.
I don't know either, actually.
Okay, maybe
and
I'm
it's
not
not
just
for the
saying.
fact because you would be taking my spot.
Let me find out who you're facing before I decide if I'm blowing $180 something to get to Boston.
And it's not because you'd be taking my spot. It's because you'd be fucking at the show and I wouldn't be there. And you would not come and say hi to me. And I would fucking miss out with fucking you guys going back. The reunion of the Seawolves. And I'd be bitterly pissed.
I'll be honest. If we're gonna do a Seawolves reunion, as much as like MEW and stuff,
sorry, MEW,
it's gotta be at Let's.
Yeah. Sorry, MEW, the Seawolves reunion would not happen there.
Yeah.
Either
it's gotta be at Let's.
Either MPW or Let's. I would.
It's
take
an MEW show, right?
I would take MPW too. But MPW or Let's.
Isn't it the MEW shows are now half Let's, half MEW?
Maybe.
No,
I don't know.
I think that was just that one.
No, because he said they're doing multiple one. Multiple.
I think Turner's been teaming with Randy, so Randy doesn't have to run Let's as much, and like that way there's champions and stuff because the Let's champion, all that fun. I don't know what's going on. I just know we have the MEW
it seems like MPW, MEW, and Let's are all kind of intermingled into
a little bit. Yeah.
One thing.
Oh, that reminds me, we got to get our belts back.
But that's what I'm saying, if that's the case, I can't step foot in a Let's Wrestle ring because of somebody.
Don't blame me.
But
Lovecraft made.
Who blame you? What are you talking about?
No,
motherfucker! I blame you. You grabbed me on the double stomp. It is your motherfucking fault. He kicked.
I was gonna say, blame who? Blame you? Yes, blame you.
No, it's your fault.
Blame you.
Fuck you. If I hit the double stomp right off, that would have been it. And the Lovecraft family would have disbanded. And you know what? It's taken me 7 goddamn months to get you guys out from under Lovecraft and show you the fact that Lovecraft was full of shit the whole fucking time. And now all of a sudden it's, we're the Wild. And we've left Lovecraft. No, you motherfucker. I'm taking 7 months of my goddamn life after moving out here on this fucking podcast to wake you guys up to this bullshit.
We had to have an excuse to have you. We didn't want you around anymore. So we had to come up with something.
You were mad because me and Dylan were the goddamn best tag team in the fucking state of Maine, and you wanted my goddamn spot. So you know what? Fuck you. I'm coming to MEW, and I'm taking your goddamn spot, and I'm defending your goddamn title. And you know what? I'm taking it back to Colorado with me too.
We know I'm the muscle of the group. All I have to do is fight. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's not true at all. Fucking, we work really well together. Like,
fuck you.
You see, that's kind of weird. All it took is for somebody to go away to show the true potential of Dylan Nix, and
oh yeah. The true potential of Dylan Nix. The true potential of the man who had one singles match against me and then decided the tag team action was exactly where he belonged.
And beat you.
He beat me because of you jackass!
I didn't do shit. I was outside.
No,
I was kicked out of the match.
Yeah, you want to fucking stop? Watch the match, motherfucker?
Yes, I was kicked out of the match.
No, because it's goddamn midnight and I want to go to bed.
You grabbed the goddamn foot on the double stomp. If you hadn't stopped me, I would have fucking double stomped and won.
There was extra shit. No,
the only other extra shit was me suplexing Lovecraft on a deli.
Exactly. You had to do something about Lovecraft. You had so much hatred towards Lovecraft that you had to make sure that you took care. I'm gonna talk over you. I don't give a shit. You had to take care of Lovecraft before you could finish the job. So don't you blame me.
Big Cat is the reason Levi's
you had the potential to beat Dylan Nix, and you chose to fuck with Lovecraft.
Here's the reason.
PURR Sessions signing off, but we